of the decade right
that
now.
Will be the twist of the decade
We're
for sure.
opening up MLBB Sports with the 2021 World Championships on a sweep. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not gonna happen. Into the draft we go. Game number 1, Blacklist International on the play. Onyx PH answering back. Hayabusa, Ling, and Selena taken out by Blacklist. Onyx PH, they take out the Estes, the Aldous, and the Eve. Very, very quick responses.
And Blacklist International, knowing this team, it's either the Matrix or the Clint, or will they actually read through what Onyx PH wants to have, which is almost always the Farsa. And knowing that both marksmen, both Matrix as well as Clint, they are countered by Farsa, maybe Blacklist International will actually secure that. So I'm only guessing like the free heroes here might be the choice for Blacklist International. It is indeed the Farsa.
Yeah, the Farsa is key to the victory here. Remember how many times this has been picked up. Imagine Blacklist right now, Haji still sitting at an 80% win rate with Haji on that Farsa. On the Philippines though, they have the chance to answer back. Delarski, will he go for that Yu Zong? Remember, every time someone picks up a Farsa, the Yu Zong is right there, ready to go. It is actually going to be the Matilda first, and Onyx PH, do they want to go for the Esmeralda here or that Yu Zong?
They still have the Paquito as well as one of their heroes that they really pick up against that, but it is true. Yeah, Yu Zong, a hero that Delarski actually played. I'm not looking at Onyx Philippines actually, they're not that kind of team. And ooh, Hatred, okay.
I think
really
they're
pumped up.
They're already on their way. He's looking over to the other side, and they snuck away. They stole Oheb's Matrix.
But then again, you still have Clint, right? So, knowing Blacklist International, they will pick that up. They also have the Paquito, and now the Yisun Shin. Ooh, it's a totally different route this time.
Yisun Shin and the Rafaela coming in for the side of Blacklist International. I love this pick already. Yisun Shin has been a very good pick for this team's side. I think sitting still at a very high win rate, maybe possibly still 100% right now.
Yep, and the Yisun Shin is going to be key to
opening up the map.
Yes, and accomplishing one of their main keys to victory is not allowing the wraparound. You need that vision. You need the Mount Shocker.
Yep. Now, Onyx Philippines, we know them as really assassin users. Definitely for Kyrie, you want to use something like a Lancelot for sure. You know it's coming. And you know it's coming, and Mirko is really happy about this.
I am happy about this. You know, Lancelot, one of my favorite heroes in the game, especially when I see Kyrie or Albert playing it. And now we're going to get treated once more here. But we have to take a look. Right now, Onyx Philippines, with the Lancelot pick, they take away that Phobius. Very, very good. You do not want to go up against that right now. Blacklist, though, they might just go for the Yu Zong ban. Was about to say that, but now Onyx Philippines, do they want to let that Paquito go? It has went through the first phase, but I don't think it's going to survive the second year, especially considering Onyx Philippines, I think they're going to target Edward.
Yeah, they definitely will. Maybe they'll get something like a Uranus. Or Clint. Yeah, that's true. The benefit of Onyx PH is that they will have the last pick. However, this Matilda pick from Onyx PH almost reveals their hand. And usually, you go for something like a Rafaela or a Natalia even, or a Selena pick for Baloyski, although the Selena is banned in this particular draft. What I'm trying to say is, you already know the Baloyski hero. And the Natalia, we're not going to see that at least in the first phase. Now, it's the Barrett's ban, making sure that this Lancelot will have a great game. Onyx PH, as well as Blacklist International, seems to be targeting all of these X-Lane heroes.
Absolutely. Let's see. Blacklist International with the
heroes.
Absolutely. Let's see. Blacklist International with the ban right now. What do they want to take away here? With the Barretts, that will actually signify that on the Philippines, they might be open to pick the Paquito for themselves. Do Blacklist want to ban it out, or do they want to go for something else here? Let's say the Uranus ban.
Yeah, I think Uranus would be good.
Or the Lapu-Lapu? Oh, they won't. Marquis Harris.
No. I think Blacklist International are thinking that this Beatrix can be played in the board as well, and Onyx PH have actually played that for Hatred. And guess what? They used it 3 times. They have not lost with it.
Well, Onyx Philippines, they have the chance to pick up the Paquito right now. I'm taking it away from Edward, but no, they pick up the Esmeralda. Again, another very good hero right now that can counter that Matilda. So picking it up for Onyx.
こんなことあるん。なんか今年の M3 ブラックリストもオニックフィリピンもどっちも強いやん。なんか抜け取る。でもなんかオニックフィリピンの方がちょっと調子良さそうなんだけど、どうなんだろう。どっちが勝つんだろう。これフィリピンの人からしたらめちゃくちゃ最高ですよね。
is unfortunately not countered by the Esmeralda. In fact, some of the players
これはもうちょっとフィリピンの方が
Yes. On a macro
2回も優
sense,
勝しちゃったらね、てかもうフィリピン確定やしな優勝するの。
The Uranus is basically a dud. The Uranus is a neutralizer. So let's see.
フィリピンの方が強いってなっちゃうよな、これを見ていると。
The dynamics, the relationship
2回も勝っちゃうとね。
2
回目は決勝でどっちもフィリピン上がってくるし。俺はオニックフィリピンかな。いやでもどっちも好き。でもなんかカイリーのアサシンが好きだからオニックフィリピンが好きみたいなところはある。
Save for the Uranus, this is a squishy composition for the side of Blacklist International, and they don't have the best sustain as well. Apart from the fact that Rafaela has heal, but of course with the burst of the Lilia, it's almost impossible to out-sustain that. It's almost impossible to rely on your healing. That's probably why they picked it up. The question is, where will it go? Mid lane or gold lane?
Well, it is going to be the question here. Beatrix, very, very dominant laner. If he goes to the mid laner, will dominate that lane. Do they want to put this hero to suffocate the Clint or just to get that mid pressure so that they can make the split happen in the early stages of the game? That is going to be the question that we need to see answered here in the game.
Between these two teams, it's Onyx who actually likes winning early and Blacklist who's willing to trade that early game. But ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into the match. Game number 1 upon us. These are the lineups. This is Blacklist International versus Onyx
ドラフト
PH.
番が見えなくな
Game
るよ
one
ね、
of
出
best
す
of
と。
7 for the World Championship.
こ
れ音大丈夫？モバイルの。声取る？てかさ、観客席の声入るのちょっといいよね、これ。ちょっとさ、めっちゃいいプレイした時とかさ、入るんよね、声。めっちゃいい。若干入ってるってのがいいわ、これ。
Their core mechanic is still going to be that front to back. That's what's going to make them win these games.
So the thing that I see coming out from the side of Blacklist International is that they don't have the hard engage we normally see with Haji, for example, in the Grok or maybe on the Cho. There's really not a way to start the fight unless they do it with the Holy Baptism, right?
Yep, they can only get these catches. They don't have any real call as to where the fights happen. They have no way to pin down anybody from Onyx.
And if you're looking at Onyx Philippines, they can rely on this Matilda to start the fights with them.
てか、視聴者すごそうだよな、タガログ語の方。そんなことないんかな。あ、言うてだった。でも、Facebook とかの方、人すごそう。
So that they will have a great lane. As Clint is generally a hero that will be a 50-50 matchup against the Beatrix.
Yeah, the side of Clint, it's a trade kind of hero, right? You don't really want to go for these all-ins early on, and same goes for the Lilia. It's going to be really good. Lilia and Clint, this matchup will be heavily favored towards the side of Lilia because of the wave clear and that trade pressure.
フィリピンのゴールドレーン、どっちもバケモンみたいにうまいのがいいよな。なんかちょっと火力の出し方がすごいうまいイメージある。結構目立っとるイメージある。ゴールドレーン。オーマイビーです。カメラ目線。
Uranus won't be able to do anything until he hits that level 4, and even then, it's going to be very easy for them to look for dives with the Lancelot and the Matilda.
Maybe if they can abuse that, that will be great because eventually the Uranus will have a better time macro-wise. Then again, for the side of Onyx Philippines, they want to engage. They can use the Falling Star Moon eventually in the mid game as well as the late game, and then of course rely on their wave clear for all of those split pushing or macro mechanics coming up from the side of Onyx Philippines. So this is a very interesting dynamic. Both teams having straight up win conditions. I think this is the time where you say it's definitely a 50-50
It's a spike. They
見てほら、 なんだっけあのスキン。
on the side of Onyx PH, but then Blacklist answers back with a more defensive role because that's when the Mountain Shocker comes in. That's when they actually have their disengage tools come online, but just the same, you have to consider the Uranus is going to scale up as quickly. Maybe it should try to scale up faster than the Esmeralda, so they can do that neutralization, they can do the isolation play. So yeah, it's all about timing. Onyx time, they definitely want to snowball. Blacklist, let's see how they're going to answer back. Here we go, back into the map.
Alright, I gotta say this though, Onyx, they have just been that catchphrase, the tag is so catchy, man.
Yeah, I agree.
What time is this? Onyx time. I wouldn't be
ランス
surprised if
早
they
い
have
よ
a
な、マジ
watch
ここの
concert
青
later
ワ
on
フ
for MPL Season 9.
青ワフ側のさ
Makes you wonder though, as we first saw that with the opening, right? But Baloyski, just some pokes coming out in the mid lane, and we know that Rafael as well as Varsity is so strong when it comes to like poking.
Just as we said it, man.
おー、リリアにかまされとる。ファ
winning that lane matchup. First blood brought to you by
ーストブラッドしやすいキャラランキング第1位リリア。
A little too deep. Again, it's both teams playing off of different timings. They know that that was the original plan, so they're playing off of their pace. Tempo going over here to Onyx PH, but by a very small margin. Oh, my Venus looking low. Kyrie gets hit. Oh, he's going to be dashed through with a puncture. Pinned down with that Bolas, and there you go. Thorn Rose keeping him in.
Again, Onyx Philippines now with the winning lanes, it's going to be really good for them to look for plays on the map, and this is exactly what they need to keep on doing. Look at Delarski. He's basically taking all the resources, trying to force Wise to be uncomfortable in his own jungle.
早い、これ一戦。
They can look for a fight.
でもランスが
Kyrie has lost a lot
来
of
るから。
HP. They still have the resources, and there you go. Blacklist, they can't contest without the winning lanes.
Yep, 4 members here.
うわー、やばうわー、やばいな。ゾーニングされとんな、しかも。
This is insane. We spoke about this matchup, but I didn't expect it to be 2 solo kills in the first 2 minutes, man. This is going to be really good. Onyx Philippines are just going to have to capitalize to this
しかもランス
Blacklist. They need an
ゆ
answer
っ
quick.
くりとジャングルファームして
It's like a very hectic day for Oh My Venus as he needed to kind of answer to the turtle fight, which wasn't.
いや、これ以前されるとしんどいんよな、最初。
He didn't have the time to actually help Oheb, and there goes the second kill from Marky into the top lane.
Edward gonna spot him out. Retribution on Kyrie, on point, taking this one. Turtles Lane brought to you by the STB. You boys are right. They're gonna try to overload the Queen, and just because of their sheer mechanics and the damage they're putting on so early, 3 minutes in, they're ahead now by 1K. Let's look at the items.
Well, it's just building up now, and Marky getting the Enchanted Talisman before the 3-minute mark. That is crazy. And to think that he didn't even have the mystery shop. This is such a good scaling hero. Even when it's a mage, it will put up some damage in the late game. Great wave clear. And with the Enchanted Talisman, he's going to just spam out all of his skills up top. Make sure that Oheb will not have a good time in the early stages of the game.
The thing is, right now, I feel like Onyx, yes, you said it, overloading the Queen, but they're not just overloading the Queen, they're overloading every single member from the side of Blacklist except for Haji. Why is having trouble in that jungle? Venus going everywhere on the map, forcing something, and even in the 2v1, it's going to be Marky winning out in these trades. This is not good for the side of Blacklist, but again, it is that
は
mark that is all
なんと
about
か
that
返せるから
infinite
リー
bonding
ガ
experience,
の
right?
序盤マジで
Blacklist
しん
gets
どい
that
けど
power spike, that's when they start to roll again. But they need to be able to stay consistent in the early stages. It won't matter that 7 minutes, yes, it's a power spike, but if Onyx Philippines can just get the huge lead, it won't go to Blacklist at all.
Baloyski got them Spirit Blooms. He's lethal. He feels it. Going cut back through the jungle. Haji. It's interesting how much Onyx PH has rotated and how every time Blacks International might have been a second or two too late, which resulted in this small lead. 20 seconds at the next turtle. Edward getting pinned here by Delarski and Kyrie falling Star Moon onto that wave. This is a very low kill score game compared to a lot of what we've seen in the playoffs. Right now, there's 3 onto Edward. He's looking for refuge. Oh, he's going to let go of his turret down here. Oh, up top! Marky gets blasted by Haji, maximum range. He's fine.
He was able to clear the waves as well, but Oh My Venus will go for the reset.
This is the Onyx Philippines special, the banana split once again coming into game number 1. Look at how they're playing the map. They have all these winning lanes. It's going to be hard. Even though Blacklist goes up, Marky, that is why they picked up the Lilia instead of the Lunox. So powerful.
Yep, they didn't need the spike. Here we go. Second turtle up already. Edward putting a few stacks onto the 3 members here. Kyrie dashing on through the wall. He's just moving around. There's a better air strike. Still Kyrie on point. getting the second turtle of the game, while Hatred puts up a lead wall.
Did you see how Kyrie just stands through it, just used the reset the factor coming out from both the puncture as well as the Phantom Execution, even using the Thorn Rose as an iframe source so that you will not be hit by some of the skill shots of Blacklist International. It's amazing to watch, and they also secured the turtle for that. And really just taking over the map in the first 5 minutes of the game.
That's why they call him the future, man. Onyx Philippines right now, just forcing their gameplay onto Blacklist. 2 more minutes, technically 1 more minute right now to that power spike for the ultimate bonding experience. But at this point, I don't feel like they're going to be able to do anything with that. Onyx Philippines, they can just continually, basically stop the fights from happening based on the pressure they have on the side lanes.
Slowly, something tells me Blacklist may have found the Achilles heel. Maybe by attacking mid, they can actually bear down onto Hatred, but might not be as easy a plan because of how much bottom lane was opened up by Dilarski. But look, there's movements up here. They're waiting. Oh, my Venus finds Marky. Circle Eagle. Come! Bye, Baloyski. They let go underneath there. They're pinning down all Venus. Look at Kyrie from the back. Gets stunned by the Holy Baptism. Fire flicker by Hatred. Takes down Oheb. There's another fight so far. Taken down by Wise. It's a 1-for-1 trade across the map.
It is, but what we gotta take a look at is the way they get the kills is they translate to instant objectives, whereas Blacklist, they're struggling to keep up in the objective side of the game. On the Philippines, yes, 3-1. The kill board isn't that much, but look at the turrets. 2 turrets, 2 turtles. This is why Onyx Philippines have been able to dominate that gold lane, the pure control of the objectives in the game.
And it's crazy to think that Onyx PH after, Marky really dancing with them. Yeah, it's crazy to think that Onyx Philippines after getting the kill up top, they put both Hatred as well as Baloyski back to the mid lane because there was a fresh kill up that and they defended.
Oh wait, Marky may have bitten off more than he can chew. Edward with the flicker forward Ionic Edge. Hatred punishes him almost immediately, circling Eagle onto Oheb. Not enough damage, burns it down. Kyrie puncturing on through. He's lashing, he's dashing. Down goes the Filipino sniper.
It looked like it was going to be bad for Kyrie when he missed that Thorn Rose. But Wise picks up a kill and they are getting some kills on the board. But again, these turrets are going to be crucial. Look at the map. All the tier 1s taken down. Only a 2-kill lead for Onyx. But look at the gold. 2,000 already.
Oh my goodness. And looking at Onyx PH, it kind of feels like they're really putting it too hard, this win condition of shutting down OF. 0-4-1 on the Filipino sniper as Onyx Philippines have taken over this gold lane and might be looking to control this turtle as well.
やばい、繋げられる？
There's
あ
a
あ、大丈
Phantom
夫か。
execution still
あら、
kept
いた。
by
マテ
Kyrie.
ィ
It's
い
off of
た。
cooldown. They'll put up
No
a
way.
wall here.
No.
Oh, we have damage! And there's the black shoes. Marky does not want to bite off more than he can chew. They're blasting Edward. All 3 turtles so far taken by
しんど
Onyx.
そう。
Did you see that tag team coming out from Onyx PH? They poked Oh My Venus, and that's great, right? Because Onyx Philippines, if they poke Blacklist International, they had to go back. And then afterwards, Marky eventually gets there.
の方がお金持っ
Again,
とるな。
forcing skills out of Oh My Venus. That flicker as well as the Holy Baptism, not available in a turtle fight, meant that it's free for Onyx PH.
But look at that, Wolf. Actually, Kyrie, he didn't go for the...
まだワンチャンある。
instantly.
ブラックリ
Guess
ス
what
ト。
the second item is?
全然
It's a
ある。
Hunger Strike for this Lancelot.
エスメ
Very,
が
very
解
interesting
けない
build coming
エ
in
ス
from
メじゃない
Kyrie.
か
That is
ら。
a snowballing build. He wants to keep it rolling. He wants the kills to keep on coming.
He wants to make like their mascot. He
ま
wants
だ
to go
全然
fast.
Well, wants to go. You know,
いけるな。
might be that he is rushing.
Oh.
お
Gets caught. Kyrie stunned. Maybe a little
Oh.
too much. Phantom
お
execution.
ーやあー、マッチのシールドと恩恵ずる
Killing
それ。
Kyrie survives.
うわ、マジかよ。最悪すぎんか、
Correct
今の。
me if I'm wrong, Albert.
いやー、恩恵とシールド強すぎるわ、今の。
That is
なかったら多分キルライン
one of the builds, but
見
yeah,
え
I
とった
did
気がす
see
る。
the Hunter Strike on the Lancer, but it is true. It's dependent on snowballing. And so far, Onyx PH, they're on track for the snowballs. In fact, yeah. But this lead, 2.6k, they should not be comfortable with this because if you're looking at Blacklist International,
いやでもランスに対してあんくらい火力出とるんやったら
Mountain Shocker set up. Blacklist International aware of
もう
everyone. And
全
that's
然
going
いけるわ。
to be Wise.
もうイス生き生きし始めとるもん。
Leads onto Baloyski up top. Edward getting blasted by Hatred.
頑張れ。
And in comes
Ah.
Kyrie. Hatred secures a kill.
Yeah, again, Onyx Philippines is so good at splitting up the map, but at this point, look, they are stopping their game. Blacklist, even though you're looking at the kills, yes, it is still favoring Onyx Philippines. They are still the ones with map pressure, but look, that is when Blacklist start to come free here. When
上昇が
those tier 1 turrets get taken down,
溜まっとったな。
a lot of teams struggle to get the tier 2s because of how good Blacklist International basically
いや、ブ
manipulate
ラック
these
リストこれい
waves,
い
go
感
for
じ
the
なん
team
じゃない
fights and secure the vision
う
in
ま
their
く耐えて
own
ますね。
jungle. Usually when tier 1s
し
are
かも
taken
多
down,
分
that's when the opposing
イセ
team
ン
can just push
イ
in
セ
your
ン結構
jungle.
育
But
ってる
Blacklist,
から
they
全
know
然
how
ワ
to
ンチ
do
ャンあ
this.
る
They know how to
多分
open
ラ
up
ン
the
スにも
map
勝て
very,
るや
very
ろ
well.
勝て
And
るや
that's
ろ
exactly what you're seeing from them.
Just make sure Onyx PH don't give up their mid lane turret. That's having their focus.
多分ラッパーもいるか
And
ら
just Kyrie just baiting through Blacklist
入り
International.
づらいのはあ
But
る
then
だろう
again,
し
it still is very difficult for Onyx PH to kind of
エ
push
スメ
this
も解け
because
ない
if
わ
you're
けじ
looking
ゃ
at
な
their
いから
composition, only Hatred can actually hit turrets.
結
Apart
構
from
あ
that,
る
they need to go melee against all these turrets.
Baloyski
Yeah,
enters
they
a
were-
lethal death push, gets caught by a
じゃ
holy
ない
baptism.
あ、やばい。あ、でも、痛
He's
い。
using
あ、やばい。
culture.
あ
Blast-wise, Hagi answers
Oh.
back with a feather
強い。
strike, taking one out on the way.
Ah.
Trading out via Baloyski 1-for-1 so far. Both teams disengaged.
That's going to be very worth it for the side of Onyx PH.
ち
They
ょっ
got
と
the
マチルダ
jungler for the
行った
roamer.
と
And
ころ
one
に
thing
ディア
I do
の
want, I wanted to
SMG の
touch
ルー
on
ト
this
入った
before
な
that fight came up. It's going to be really easy for Onyx PH in these team fights. Why?
一戦
Because
死
they
んじゃった
all they need to do is target Wise, all right? Wise is the only one with kills on the board. It's time to take a look at the replay and look at what they do. Exactly that, targeting only Wise in these team fights.
You gotta have to look at Haji, the way he used the flicker to get out of the zone of Kyrie.
ランスの
And then
ミステ
Kyrie
ィ
also
全
tried
部
to
入っちゃ
outplay
ったの
Haji
か
with the Thornrose to dodge some of the feather dares, like then get out of
痛そうや
the
なそ
zone
れは
of the feather dares, like such mechanics from, former, I would say, the
いやで
rivals
も
in the
クリン
jungler
ト
role.
地味に育ってんじゃない
Again, you
Cool.
see from the kills, 5 total kills for Blacklist. 3 of them picked up by Wise, all right? So this is going to be the fact of the matter. Onyx Philippines, all they need to do is shut Wise down. Oheb is so behind, he basically does no damage at this point.
I was about to bring that up. This whole time we've left Oheb for what, 5 minutes now? I'm
ちょっと
guessing
リリア
his
だるいよ
items
なこの
must be in
こ
point,
の
must have
時
caught
の
up. But Onyx PH, they have a different plan. They're starting up this
視界
road
も取れ
already.
て
Edward trying to get
邪
a
魔も
visual. Oh my Venus, poising up.
邪魔できんの
This
ずるいわ
wall here, this bush
あ
is dangerous. In goes Marky.
あやばいランス狙われてあー一点狙われたあでもクリントがいい火力出とるクリントがいい火力出とるよランスめっちゃ耐えてるいいんじゃないフラッシュはあー20秒うわーいやでもあるなこれイセンがもうちょっと耐えれてればあったぞ
As they really have
もう
mastered
勝
this
てる
Lord
な
fight,
これ
and that is
ブ
what
ラ
we
ック
saw
リスト
in their series against BTK. They have really bodied BTK in these Lord fights, and so far it has been good. And Onyx, interesting decision to actually go for heroes instead of focusing on the Lord after them starting the Lord themselves.
We need to talk about the win conditions coming in for both of the teams. Onyx PH, look at their heroes. They are ability-based heroes. They are a one and done, all right? They're a hit-and-run composition, whereas Blacklist, they want these fights to go a long distance, maybe all the way to that final moment. Look at their heroes, 2 marksmen and Farsa. These are continuous
イセンあれなん
abilities,
だブレスト行
continuous
くんか
basic
な
attacks
ブレ
coming
スト
in.
っぽいよな
They always, you know? So Onyx, what they want to do is go for the hard engage to the back line, destroy that
Dia
back line,
Barty.
and back away, instantly go for an objective, whereas Blacklist, they want to keep on fighting.
Haji's been so good with this hero.
Oh, there we go. They're gonna come in. They
Alright,
find one.
tenemos
Edward gets
Koso.
jumped on, circling eagle. And the jump in.
あー SMG 塗ると痛すぎるやばい
And the holy healing, saving the rest of Black's
あ
International.
でも裏のせ早い裏のせ早い
Know that they're going for the Lord. Both
あー
teams, they
痛い
know that
痛
they
い
have to do this
お
very, very quickly. Edward putting a
い
free
っ
stab.
てうわやばーランスの火力
Kyrie gets a dash in, trading up for Beloit.
すぎやろ
That's a win for Onyx.
マ
Mount
ジ
Shocker making sure that it's safe to disengage Kyrie. Still
いやでもまだ
pressuring
イセン
Edward.
あ
And it's
いいミドってるミド
Amigo.
ってる
That's Blacklist back on the map, taking a mid
あ
lane
全然
tier
美
one.
味しいんじゃないこ
Remember
れ
what I said?
ミド折れ
Prolonged
た
fights
しかも
is
下
gonna
も折れ
favor
るんじゃない
Blacklist International. Onyx PH with this
折れるな
composition, they need to
うわ
go
これ
for
ちょっ
far
と
lockdown. If not, Blacklist, look what they're able to
ブラックリ
do.
ストの方が
They
アド
get
や
two
ったや
turrets
ん
off
クリン
of
ト
a
一番
fight
一緒や
that
っ
was
たけど
1 for 1.
Amazing recovery coming out from Blacklist International.
いや裏のせずるこいつ削られても数秒後体力回復して戻ってくるやん
Really good, and they disengage against Onyx PH, heal themselves up, get away from the zone of those dominant
Fasa
those
ga
anti-heals coming
Intarot.
out from Onyx PH, then fight again. And it really looked wonderful from Blacklist International. They want to go for top though.
Oh,
お
Kyrie
あー惜しい
just at the nick of time. Phantom execution out. Mountain Shocker, he's not out of the woods just yet. Oh, Blacklist International, they've built
た
up
だ
the
イセンのルート
confidence.
使っちゃ
I
った
think
から
already a very, very small gold lead, 800 you can say. That's Blacklist International
こ
starting
れ
up the Lord.
どうするんだろう。
Edward
あでも
drawing a
ミドにランス
perimeter,
見
the
えたから、
enforcer,
い
the
や
muscle, keeping all the other members of
ベイトしてる。
Cage down.
あ落ちそう。
Boloiski
マチルダ落ち
put
る。
down to his lowest and taken down by
今勝って
Wise.
んの
That's
か。
a one-man
あ
advantage.
ランス見えてない。ランスバレてない。
Pop in the feathered airstrike. Tyreski looking low.
あ
Marky
あ
as
ウル
well.
トミスった
No more black
あ
shoes
う
here.
まい位置好きよけ
Oh,
あでもウ
they
ィンターロット
go
う
in.
わ
Lane right before he can take out Marky.
うまいウィンターロット
Hatred's getting blasted
あビア痛い
here.
ビア痛い
Here's passion.
あでもウィッセンが
Wise coming up for the re-engage. That's a jump
Haji's
back.
up, he's up.
Haji
お
is
ハジがい
looking
ってる
for
あ
one.
あうまい
Blasted
わ
in the face.
イセンのウルトいった
It's a 1 for 3.
うわーボッケリントと
Oh
イセン
my
止
God,
まらんだ
Philippines,
こ
they
れ
were so disconnected in that, and the punishment was there for Blacklist International.
いやーやばいなこれ
Wraparound did not hit the
ちょっ
Phantom
とリクフィリ
execution
ピン
onto
これ
Haji. That's
火
why
力
Haji was
足
able
り
to
ないんや
just
ない
run away and punish him for his transgressions. And Onyx PH have lost so much of their lead. Blacklist International taking the enhanced Lord, meaning to say they now have map control.
This is the refined Blacklist that we were all talking about back in the BTK matchup. Blacklist, look at how well they're able to play. Onyx Philippines for the first few minutes were the ones pushing their playstyle onto Blacklist, but they did not crack. They waited up until that Ube strat could work. It didn't work in the 7 minutes because they were so
ちょ
behind.
っと
But
エ
now,
セメが
look
こけて
at
た
these
のが
items.
痛
Look
そう
at
だ
these
け
heroes.
ど
They finally scaled
イ
up
センに
through
キ
the
ル入って
farming on
た
the
し2キル
cross-map
くらい
plays, and they are the ones pushing Onyx Philippines to play their way. They have nowhere to go at this point. They can only follow Blacklist tempo.
I put a name to this when we saw it happen against BTK. It was called the rubber banding effect. Blacklist was rubber banding, and they were just waiting. And now this is their game to lose. Look at this. Luminous Lord marching down through bottom. They are setting it up. Feathered airstrike. Blasted on the 3-4 members.
いやーこれランス入れないだろうな
Discipline. Catching one. Dilarski with the holy baptism. Mid's gonna get taken down as well. Ohim takes it. The Filipino sniper. Pew pew.
This is going to be insane right
リア
now.
が
Look,
ウ
the
ルトあるんか
2,000
な
goalie for Onyx Philippines, it felt like
ウ
it
ルトあ
didn't
る
exist
とは
at this
思うけ
point.
どファーサーだ
4,000 for
な
Blacklist.
こ
They're
こある
just
から
cracking in the base.
Look at this
うわ
counter
いったファーサーの一
Wise
発
coming in, threatening the passive tick onto Marky, and they're still here. They are not letting go. They know that there's ults on the side of Blast International, and they give full respect. Mount Shot
裏
keeping
の
them
ス
in
ト
place.
ケ
They
ン
might
あ
try
イ
to
セン
look
の
for
ウ
a
ルト
kill
ちょっ
here.
と痛
Onto
いなこれ
Dilarski, he's low.
お
Down to
で
a
も
third of his health. Circling healed by Boloiski into the back line.
やばい
He's gonna
ランス
call back immortality, looking for Kyrie. He's looking for heads.
あー
There's
うまい
a airstrike. Wise goes down.
あーでもランス落ちた
One for one so far.
いやでもクリントがまだ生きとる
That's gonna be another
あでも
one
痛い
taken
クリン
out.
クリント
From Boloiski, and it's Edward. He's
あ
running. He's buying time. Here comes Ohib, and Oh My Venus gonna go for the
マスが
fire
強い
back. That's Marky catching a bullet. Boloiski, he's
うわーやばい
The Filipino
やばいあれ
sniper
ビアじゃない
gets a
リア落ちる
Marky pops the
危な
black shoes. He's okay.
やばいやばいやばいめっ
Inside
ちゃ
on
痛い
PH's base.
This is insane. The prolonged
リス
fight
キド
once
パス
again
リ
with
スキド
Oheb
パッシブ
to stand
ずるすぎやろ
back
こ
line.
れ
And look,
射程
how
長
this
す
fight is
ぎ
gonna
る
go again.
Oh, they're still going.
いやでも
Oh,
こ
the
れ
baptism catches
しん
Dilarski,
あい
and he's still
お肉
dancing
フィリ
around,
ピン
giving him
大丈
shield,
夫か
taking down the
あ
queen, popping the
うわラフ
immortality,
落ちた
and the Nibiru's passion, point
ブラックリストの方が危ないわこれ
Edward and Oheb may have
うわでも
overstayed
う
their
わー
welcome.
狙いね
Disengage, there's a heal from
やばい
Edward.
回
He's
復
still
量
pushing his luck. He's still going. Dilarski,
ず
he dance around. Both of them still have immortalities. We get a reset.
あーずるすぎる
18
な
minutes in, and what a game do we have on our hands. Look at the scoreboard. Dead even 13 to 14. 2,000 gold lead though for the side of Blacklist. Now what Onyx needs to do is again target that back line. It's very easy to say.
うわ
It's
ナチュラル
very
積ん
hard
だ
to do
うわ
considering the front
こ
line
れ
and the
伊勢
peel from
今
the
打
side
っ
of
たんか
Blacklist. Look at the items right now. What
う
can you see?
わ
Oh, well. I can see
今
there,
の
there,
一戦
there is
ナチュラル
Winter
1秒しか
Truncheon
出ない
inside
け
of Hatred, and
ど
they're freshly picked up Winter, I mean, Wind of Nature for both Wise and
相性は
Hatred.
めちゃくちゃいいからな
This
ま
is
だ
perfect against
相性
Hatred
自
as
体はいい
well
から
as Kyrie. As we can see that Kyrie really
全
would
然
like
あ
to go for Wise
ちょ
all
っ
that
とウィート
time.
リスンが
Circling
あ
Eagle
けど
on
一
to
スキルよけ
Wise.
て
A false engage. Dilarski
狙えない
goes back with the falling star moon. Edward pushing them back.
Oh, this is Onyx PH. I wonder why they bought that. Maybe they're just threatening for kills. As
物理
Kyrie
吸
is
収
just
も
waiting
入る
for
し
farm onto the other
1
side
秒
of the
間
map. But
物理向こ
Blacklist
うは
International,
美味
they
しい
do
ん
have
じゃ
the
ないかな
advantage of all of the minions just pressing against Onyx PH without the inhibitory turret.
At this point of the game, Onyx Philippines, they need to micromanage so many things, you know? 3 lanes
これロード
basically
早いやろう
constantly
な
pushing in with those super minions activated from those inhibitors as now Lord spawns by TikTok Live. how are they going to contest for this? Blacklist, they are better in the prolonged fights, in the poke division as well. Onyx will need to pull out some crazy fights, maybe even some miracle plays to be able to make that happen.
前出づらい。
Miracle plays.
ウラノスが
We'll
来
see
た
if
から
Onyx PH is known for that, but Blacklist International, they're so composed.
Circling Eagle onto one. They might get it off of this odd entry by Edward, but they're not going to let that happen. Not so easily. Mountain Shocker. You always have to remember, Blacks International has that one tool to know exactly where everyone is. So the wraparound, that isolated catch, not so easy.
Again, Onyx
うわ、イ
Philippines
セン
forcing
が
these
上
out,
昇いい感
Like
じ
you
に溜め
said,
とる。
this is what they do, and literally right now, 20 minutes in, they need to keep on forcing this because look at the build-ups in the waves. From the bottom side, Mark.
うわ、
Oh
い
my
っ
god.
たリリア。
Marky
う
Mountain
わ
Shocker, everything is a threat here right
あ、これ
now.
取り切りいくんじゃないロー
The
ド。
range game on Blacklist
う
International
わ
is
パーサー
huge.
痛すぎるな、これ。
Blink of an eye. Onyx,
やばい。
time to respond. Delarski gets the immortality bomb. Circling Eagle.
おー、強い。
Edward in check. Down goes the Esmeralda. Wise takes the kill. And right now, even Hatred suffers
おっ
a
と、
death.
カイリが
Down a goal.
あー、これはもうしんどい。
Filipino sniper gets one.
あ、カイリウィンターロット買ったけど、間に合わん。
The Lord and Blacklist marching into their
うわ
place.
ー、イッセンクリンと、いやもう、耐えたブラックリストの勝ちやな、これ完全に。
Blacklist takes it 1-0.
いや、1戦目から熱すぎるやろ、これ。
Go for either Haji or Edward. Edward was able to just make sure that Onyx PH is in check and they know where they are. They don't even need to pop the Mountain Shocker to know where the members of Onyx PH are. It's just that Edward is keeping tabs of it, and Haji, this guy smiling because I would say he carried this game. The way he uses his ultimate just disrupt and maybe burst the squishy members of Onyx PH was just phenomenal.
It's the simple plays that come in for Blacklist International
な
that
んだっけ、
really
相
makes
手
the
のミド。
difference here. You don't
リア
need
か。
flashy plays. All you need to do is stick to that
いや、
textbook.
リリアだと
They know their
さ、
win conditions entirely.
押し
When the
アー
draft
リーで
was
押し
set,
切
they
ら
knew
んと、
what we had to do. First 5 minutes,
ああいう
never
流
gonna
れ
go
にな
our
り
way.
がち
If
な
we
気が
try
す
to
る
force
わ。
the tempo, we're gonna lose. Sure,
火
I'll
力
just keep
が
on farming. Wise, he was
足りなくなっ
disrupted
ちゃっ
so many
た
times in the jungle.
気はする。
Didn't let that get into his head. He stayed
これからアー
composed.
リ
He
ーで
waited
終わ
for
ら
the
せん
time.
と。
When he got those item power spikes, you can see the level that he brought onto these team fights. They were able to force every single one. And the name of the game for game 1 is forced errors. Blacklist, with that pressure, with the tempo shifting over, they were able to push it through on a PH.
It's the Blacklist rubber band scoring them the first
お
victory
前
in
ビラス
game
の
number
バックル
1.
って
Let's
言い
throw it
方
over
どう
to
なってんのあれ。
analysts. Gideon Q and LaFell break it down.
こんにちは。
Thanks so much, Leo. Appreciate it as
Yeah,
always.
it's
But
enough.
back here at the analyst stand with the two smartest here once again. LaFell, we had to talk about this a little bit more because again, even though it is going to be an all Filipino finals,
いや、目立ってないけど、イスンのウルトが結構でかかっただろうな。ナース、ブッシュ待機、てか、ピアもランスもブッシュ待機できないのがちょっとしんどそうやった。
Then it's time for Blacklist International to really control the map. And then speaking of
やっぱり
mistakes,
ウルトで全視
a
界
lot of
全キャラの視界
engages
取れ
that
る
was
の強
actually
すぎるわ。
countered by the side of Blacklist International just being a little bit better in terms of timing on how they capitalize on the engages coming in from Onyx.
But that's the thing, right, LaFell? When
いや、
you
うまか
have
った
such
で
a
すね。
complicated overall draft where your win conditions are mainly to be playing for this early game, we see time and time again, it feels like Blacklist is able to kind of bring, hold them back. But what we cannot hold back, we can't stop talking about the Razer Hammerheads here. Guys, if you haven't heard about it, you got to cop one for yourself because the Razer Hammerhead True Wireless are cutting-edge earbuds destined to dominate the sound stage. Designed to dazzle in a blaze of RGB glory, the Hammerhead is decked out with active noise
カイリーのランスなんかな、俺的には多分イスンを育てさせちゃったエスメが悪いと思うな、あれは。劣勢の時にブラックリストが。ゴールドレーンとミドは勝ってたけど、お肉フィリピンの EXP だけちょっとやられとったから。あ、そういうことで。いや、うまいよな。もうカイリがイスンだって途中なんかもうイスンの方が稼ぎ多かったしな、なぜかレベル差も 同じくらいになってたし、なんならちょっとランスより上やったしな。だから絶対 SMA がちょっと死にすぎてた感は序盤あった。いやでも以前うまかったな。これ S 目落とすところ見たかったわ。ちょっとどういう風に落とされたのかがちょっと気になったわ。2回くらい落とされてたから。
Sandbagging in the lanes, as people like to call it. But most importantly, I think Haji not only was playing for the macro sense, some of his plays have really caught some of the members from Onyx PH side off guard, getting a lot of free kills.
Yeah, and especially because of that winter truncheon. A lot of times you see that Kyrie trying to dive to the back line, try to kill him off, but once he has that winter truncheon, then he's going to be sitting there for quite a while, and the rest of Blacklist International, they can just focus him down. And another point of contention is, in the early game he was focused, but mid-stage and late-stage of the game, he was basically untouched, being able to dish a lot of damage. Speaking of damage, Oheb dealt the most, 107,000.
まだランスの方がリンハヤランスだったらまだランスがマシなんやろうな。ブラックリストからしたらランスちょっとワンチャンあるもんな。なんかその3足の中だとちょっと一番下に入りそう。全部使えるとして前提で。はやぶさは影長すぎるし、リンはなんか壁地形無視して飛んでくるし。いや、それな。やっぱファンさえうまいとダンス落とせるんやな。しかも、ウィンター、いや、ウィンター勝ってんのでかかったな、あれ。いや、クリートのビルドすごくね。なんだこれ。あ、これ靴ってテラにしてんのか。エンバとバーサーク。スピシャ、これ最後ウッドル臭いな。多分あれ最後どんな感じで終わってんやっけ。でもテラは多分最後あれあんま変わらないんだっけ、テラの移動速度と。テラの速度と靴の移動速度10くらいしか変わんないんだって。あ、ハーストのとこトールだったんだ。なんか最後の方にテラーに帰ってたっぽいな。スカファーは軽くに極振りしすぎやろ、あれは。グリッドのビルドクソエグかった今。見たことないわ。いや、リリア、ほんま序盤だけ、序中盤だけやからな。育ったクリントはもう、リリアが逆に半分以下にされちゃうから、そこがしんどそうやった。
all your support for your favorite teams here, especially for the Filipinos out there. I don't know why you wouldn't want to get one, because again, we've prepared some exclusive battle emotes for all 16 teams, and with each battle emote, it has their own voiceover, so get them now and support your favorite teams while you still can. I don't want people to regret and be like, ah, man, I should have got it earlier, even though I just turned into a fan. Just save yourself the time, save yourself the effort, get it now while you still can, and most importantly, between the both of us, we'll see. We'll see how Game 2 is going to go. Let's throw it over to our casters at the desk to see how Game 2 is going to play out. Leo, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Gideon, Q, and LaFell, explaining exactly what happened in game number 1 and awarding our MVP, Oheb. Welcome back to the desk. My name is Leo, at your service, joined by Wolf and Mirko. Gentlemen, that went the distance. I mean, we hit TikTok timers.
Yep.
there were some outs for both teams, but eventually Blacklist found the W.
Yeah, we could see that the start was really good for the side of Onyx PH. They have this early game composition courtesy of the Lancelot, led by the Lancelot plus the Lilia, and then of course that mid lane Beatrix. Naturally, these heroes don't scale as much. That's why in the latter portions of the game, we see that the Clint as well as the Yi Shin just trumped over that, and we can see this dynamic between both Esmeralda and Uranus. Uranus being the better positional tool and better macro
いやでもまだ言うて、まだ BO7 やからな。 BO7 だからまだあるよ。
Well put. I mean, besides Oheb's Clint, I'd say that Uranus on Edward would have been a
4
great MVP
勝
as well. And you at home
4
can
勝だよ
be
ね。
the MVP
4
of
勝
both
した方
skill
の勝ち
and
か。
style with the Frank debit card. Out of over 60
あ、
designs,
アンジェラ出
pick
て
the
き
one
た。
that screams your personality or
あれ左
your
誰だ
once
何の
again
キャラ左
to Frank by OCBC.
いやでも俺はオニックフィリピンが
and throw it over to Onyx this time around. How do they come back from this? It
勝
was
つ
a well-fought match.
って
and
願っ
it
てま
slipped
す。
right from their grasp.
Honestly, at this point, the thing is, yes, Onyx Philippines, they made a
ブラッ
few
クリス
mistakes
ト
in
ちょっ
that
とアウ
game,
ラ
but it was
ド
all
もう
because
100%
Blacklist
ほぼ
played
バン
the
されてる
perfect
から
one. They forced these mistakes to happen onto Onyx Philippines.
バンされそうだから
What Onyx needs to do
今回
is
の
possibly
オニッ
get
クフィリ
more
ピンとの試
aggressive
合
because the time that they spent going for all that setup for the tier 1s, it was perfect. But after that, they kind
あ
of fell
待
flat.
っ
They
て
didn't
違うわ
want to
ブ
engage.
ラ
They
ックリ
didn't
ス
want
ト
to
が
risk
使う
their
んか
gold lane, and that's where they
アウラ
fell.
ドは
All right, if you don't risk anything, you're not going to get
いやそう
anywhere
かそうか
in this game. You need to be able to
アウラドバーン
invade
され
the
るけ
jungle,
ど
take away some of the resources,
イ
and
スンが
force-wise, once
視野
again,
カットル
to
めちゃく
just
ちゃ
not be a threat here. As long as he doesn't get farmed, that's all you need. Or when he uses retribution so that you
は
can
い
set up
次イ
for
ス
a
ン
goal.
取るんじゃない帰り
Maybe we're
そんなことないん
actually
かな
giving Onyx a little too
でも
much
取り
to
そうや
work
け
with.
ど
There
あの
might be
感
too
じ
many duties because one, yeah, watch Edward. Two,
娘と同
watch
じでウラノスも私も
Uranus.
最
Watch that
近
offlaner.
フィリピン
Watch
フィリピン
Wise.
勢がめっ
Watch
ちゃ
Oheb.
使ってますね
But also, I think
ウ
we
ラ
have
ノス
folks watching over Miwatch. What's up?
今
You
回
guys
の
have
試合
been
も
with
めっ
us
ちゃウラノ
since
ス
the
目
6th
立
of
ってた
December. Now it's the last day
前
we're
張
about
り
to
で
crown another champion. By watching, you can
削
win
られ
various in-game
たけど
rewards and of course,
回復
thank
し
you
て
so
戻っ
much
て
again
きて
for
るの
joining
が
us. What are you waiting
ち
for?
ょっと
Switch
キ
it
モ
over
す
to
ぎたな
Miwatch
秒で
and check us out as we duke out between two Filipino teams vying for that back-to-back championships. We were saying, maybe be a little more bold. Is that exactly what might have not worked out for Onyx?
It is easy to say because of the fact that they have Lancelot as well as the Matilda, right? But then again, if you're looking at how Blacklist played it, they made sure that in the mid game where it all mattered, that they weren't forced as much. And I think that you can also give it to how Haji played it. He was able to punish the positioning on the side of Onyx PH and become a nuisance. Not only that, he also baited so much coming out from Onyx PH. I think that from minute 7 up until the last minute of the game, it was Blacklist International just turning it up and flipping the switch.
今の EXP の人だっけ
Because they were just
確か
luring Onyx PH to their position, to their part of the map, and then they reset, right? You saw that so many times. When somebody gets jumped by Baloyski, all of them together, as if they're controlled by a hive mind, just go back to their own base, and when Baloyski's already out of position,
かい
that's
イ
where
ケメン
they
や
heal.
ん
And then it took so many tries for Onyx PH only to make it to the point where their mistake was so bad that it gave the Lord to the side of Blacklist
And that was a turning point. That one
Exactly.
huge objective turned
髪の
the
毛の
tides.
量
We need to take a look at their
入り
mentality
くらい
as well
に
here, right? Because this is going to be
する
the
と
first loss outside
ド
of
ライ
the
ヤー
group
で乾か
stage,
す
all right?
の
Based in the playoffs,
乾か
this
す
is the
時間
first
めっちゃ
loss
伸
that
びる
Onyx
からす
Philippines
ごい嫌な
have.
んや
You know, this is insane actually. Now that
Their
I think about it.
second loss throughout the
Whole
whole World
tournament,
Championship.
exactly. Game loss, by the way. So
Wow.
again, this mentality-wise, how is it going to affect them? I did meet Baloyski just now in the restroom. He seemed pretty okay. He seemed
they seem
really,
pretty-
yeah. I mean, if you look at the Onyx Philippine crew right now, they are all smiles, all right?
Yeah.
So I really like that about them. They're chill. And we need to see more of that right now for the side of Onyx PH. They need to stay composed. And what is most important is they need to understand their win conditions. Push in when they have the gold lead. Don't be scared.
バンは一緒
They're
か
playing that game not to lose, you know? They didn't
これ
want to
バン
win.
ずっ
They
と
were
一緒なんじゃない
not to lose.
Yep. I also saw
すごい
on
な
the way to what we did during the break.
バン
because
固定になっ
of
とる
the
やん
I see Kyrie actually stayed in a stage. I think that him and
Your team
Coach
is picking.
Yeb were actually discussing something maybe about the because I think I see him like warming up once again. Maybe he wants to play that Lancer once again.
Oh.
on
いや
page
そうなるよ
That's
な
why.
Shin, as well as the Yu Zhong straight up.
やっぱ
answered
パーサ
Barca.
が
It
強
was
か
a
った
problem
なあ
in
の
game
試合は
one. And now they
パスは強すぎる
they
な。
have been trying to solve it.
Exactly. This is what I like from Onyx PH. This is what I said. Should
あー、
have
はい
happened
はい
in
はい
game 1,
はい
right? Aside from the
イスン
Yusun
が
shit,
ね
maybe that's
ゾー
why
ン
he
苦
stayed
手
on
だ
stage.
し
He was like, Coach, you put me on these high mechanical heroes. I can
パー
play
サいる
Yusun
か
Shin
ら
as well,
確か
alright?
にこのタイミングで
So,
今度はあ
Yuzong,
り
this is going to be the name of the game right now. Haji was one of the main contributing factors
パ
to
ス
the
ちょっとフ
victory
リーだっ
that
たしな
Blacklist was able to get. Now with the Yuzong, it is going to make it much harder for this Farsa to be a factor in this team fight.
Yep, I really like these two picks from Onyx as well. One, throwing back. Two, the Yusun Shin wallbang by Kairi from earlier in the playoffs. That was amazing. And number
Malaysia.
two, just the way Dilarski plays this Yuzhong, not only in the world stage, but even back in MPL Philippines Season 8. He would just draw lines across the map, man. He would say where you can and can't go, and it answers
The
that
far
Farsa
Barats.
so well.
Yeah, loving the Barats.
ジャングルバラッツかな。
Onyx PH, one of their go-to heroes for both
俺以前でバラッ
as
ツ
well as
結構いけるって思って
One
た
thing that we can expect from
払ったんだけ
Blacklist
ど
International is that this Farsa as well as
ちょっと
Rafael
ちょっとだるいことに気づいたわ。
Blacklist International.
位置付けでバラッツ乗ると
Let's see
避けれるんだ
how
け
Onyx
ど
will actually answer this. Lancelot will not be picked up anymore.
多分楽に感じてたのは
This is the jungler of
絶対ウィンターロッドあったから
choice
や
which means that our Onyx PH might go full
だから絶対に食われることはなかったけど
Maybe they wanna
た
go
まに
back
ね
to these wave clear
最
heroes like
近
Lilia for
ミスン
example, but
使っ
they
て
did
て相手の
the
バラ作ると
Oh,
Your
shout out to
team is
Ducky.
なんか
banned.
食われることが増えてしまう
Onyx Philippines though now with the Natan pickup as well. Now,
なんか位置付きで突っ込んで
for the side of Onyx PH, they might just be targeting Oheb here.
バラッツが食うまでにパッシブを貯めて位置付きで避けようとしてたんだけど毎回失敗してる
in a very long time.
I guess they're more confident this time around because they have the Yuzhong. So far,
No.
Lolita has been
Golden
snubbed in
Nito.
this series, which has been the flavor of the
Ano?
tournament thus far. And the fact that they're leaving
Your
these
team
open
is banning.
means maybe they have the clear answer. And you're looking at it right here. It's that dragon. It's the Yuzhong. Onyx PH takes out the Brody. I'm guessing maybe this other one might be another targeted ban, and then they go from there.
Yep, with the Brody as well as the Clint, the considerations for bans from Onyx PH, but knowing Blacklist International, they can still go back to something like an Alice. Although Blacklist International, that is definitely one of the heroes
Your
to play on
team
OE,
is
but
banning.
not really
Natalia.
the best choice. Now, this is what I like from, this is what I actually
ロームナタ
expected from Onyx
やって
PH
た
to
もんな
do.
そういえば
Last pick the Baloyski hero, or maybe second phase pick that hero. That Matilda, as good as it is, it's one of those best heroes, right? But you can't do that against Blacklist International. These playmakers from the Rome lore
JG
should
か
not be countered by Blacklist International because you can
いや
see
JG バラ
was
ッツ
baited
か
by
多
that
分だ
Matilda.
から
And
ゴ
looking
ー
at
ル
it
ド
from
キャ
a
ラ
macro
ー
standpoint,
あ
maybe game one,
Obvious
Onyx PH was
ka.
too honest. Maybe they revealed their cards
確かに来たら嫌だ
and Blacklist, even from the blue side, was able to draft around it. Looking at this last ban by Onyx, of course, it's going to be the Phobius. Gotta respect that hero on Edward.
Beatrix is still
Midoka.
available, so is
Oh,
Clint. They buy both Joe as well as
Dang,
Miss Natalia, the
Maracas
three heroes that
Pilipinas ka.
made
多分
the
強い
game Onyx PH's
て意味じゃない
unbeatable
ですかね。
campaign in the upper bracket, now banned out by Blacklist International.
だから多
Are
分
we
フ
looking
ィリ
for
ピ
another
ン
Lilia pick?
マラカスは多分フィリピン強いみたいな
But maybe it's
こ
better
とを
this
言っ
time
てるんじゃ
around.
ないですかね多分
That's what I was gonna go for here right now. Matilda. Now that you have the
あ見えとる
Yuzong,
フラッ
the
シ
Yusun
ュ
Shin that can
フラッシ
hide
ュ
and kite away, it is
フラッ
gonna
シュ
be
見え
really
ま
good
した
for Matilda, adding again some sort of disengage, some sort of engage. This is a complete hero, right? When we're talking about Matilda, she can do it all. But let's see, Blacklist, they have the chance to pick up either a Beatrix or a Clint, and also the jungler. What jungler do they want to go for? Perhaps, maybe we've already seen the jungler here,
Yeah,
the
it's
Barracks.
Yeah, I agree. So you still have like Paquito.
ゴールドと
and,
EXP キャラ
sometimes Blacklist International can
取
go
りたいな
goes for Lapu Lapu because this
取りたいな
really
ってか
looks
取らん
like
とい
a
け
good
ん
Lapu Lapu game,
取らんとい
both
けん
Paquito as well
い
as
けんのやけ
Chicho.
ど
Another
何取るんや
option
ろこ
is
こ
that glue, but it's probably not what the priority.
Bia
Again,
と
Beatrix is still there.
Uranus.
Go back to the Uranus. I think Onyx PH can go back to Lunox. The difference though is that they don't have the best wave clear in the world against a potential snowball from Blacklist. This is Rafaela plus Barats. They want to push and push and push. So now if you're Onyx PH, you're looking to answer either the tankiness of both Barats as well as Lunox, or just answer the wave clear. Either way, they will have to choose
ゴールドパーサーになったりし
My
ないよ
problem
ね
with the Lunox is it feels a little slow. Onyx PH, they're
それ
gonna
は
have
な
to
い
use
かな
a huge chunk of the guiding winds to really position that Lunox, or else once again it might be the same story as game one all over again, wherein they isolate one, and then it all just crumbles. Let's see if they're gonna fall for it. Instead, no. Is this what I think it is? I think is this mid money? Is this mid
ローム
money?
パッキミドパッキ
Not entirely
お前、あ、
Pakito
違
mid.
う。
It's Pakito mid.
ミドパッキか。
No, it's not. You're right. Is this a throwback to season 8? Are they switching it up like that?
It's a throwback to season 7, man, when Pakito was like used everywhere, right? As a roamer, but very interesting pickup here. I mean, technically, yes, it is going to be really good in that mid lane, getting some pressure then, and obviously Barca will be pressured constantly. But what we do need to look at from the side of Blacklist is that they don't have a reliable source of engage. They are they're relying on Onyx Philippines to dive them first, you know, going in for the Rafaela kite back, going again for those prolonged fights, whereas for Onyx PH, they also kind of strive in these long fights with the Yu Zheng, the Yisun Shin, and especially the Natan.
Yep, and if we're looking at Blacklist International, though, their lack of engage did not lose them the game in game number 1. Yep. They're actually masters of this, luring tactics where they bait out Onyx PH. This time, though, after game 1, Onyx PH, will they actually be forced into those kinds of situations? Will they be lured again by Blacklist International as we head into another pause?
An intermission before we go ahead and get into the map. Fellas, I'm not sure. I don't recall. Who was playing which? Was it confirmed?
Yes, it has been confirmed. Hatred, the one on that Pakito. Very, very interesting. Once again, I agree with you. I'm just as confused as you, but we need to take a look at why possibly this might have happened. Going up against Blacklist International, the one thing that they lacked in that first game is that gap closer, all right? They didn't have anyone, technically not gap closer, but lockdown, all right? With Pakito, it adds both. Yeah. You have the knockdown, you have the knock-up strike that can lock down these enemies in place, and that gap closer that you really, really need. And guess what? Onyx Philippines, it's not like they're just changing their gameplay 100%. They also have that siege that they really want to go for. The Yisun Shin and Natan is going to add so much to that banana split that we already know, especially that Mountain Shocker.
Yeah, I think Onyx PH, they're playing on the same strengths they had from game number 1, but this time around,
they're refining it.
They're refining it, and they're adding more elements that allow them to fight Blacklist on this more fluid team fight style. Yes, game 1, they were more sustained. They wanted to stay in a little longer, maybe last 2 or 3 more ults, but it's very fluid. So is this right? Am I reading this right, Wolf, that Onyx wants to fight the same way?
Yeah, fight the same way, but in a different approach.
Yes.
Well, that actually is a no, if you think about it. But at the same time, it actually helps Onyx PH to solve their problems on the go. So for the previous game, it was a one-off wherein if they don't control the early stages of the game, eventually snowball into the mid-game, they will not have any ways to solve their problems. It's just there, and they will have to wait for a mistake from Blacklist International. Whereas this time, it's true that they will engage with the same approach, but this time more solutions if ever something bad happens in the mid stages of the game. This time, we might see the classic banana split. In game number 1, they didn't have any options for that. They were so all in their strategies. It was their snowball and slash death ball kind of strategy, but this time, we see both marksmen and a lot of wave clear, a lot of engage potential as well. But then again, generally weaker in the early to the mid stage of the game, which means, my God, we're going to see the banana split once again.
Honestly, right now, the banana split is going to be a really, really good way to take those early turrets. And also for those neutral objective fights, it's actually going to be really good. Again, yeah, I really like the draft coming in from Onyx Philippines, but now let's shift over to Blacklist, all right? Yep. Their composition is very much the ultimate bonding experience that we all have come to love and know. But again, it's refined. It feels like they can do much more than just that stick together kind of comp.
Yes, and in the early game, again, Onyx has that problem now. But just like in game number 1, they might actually flip the script, and Onyx might find more windows where Blacklist have to think on their feet. Because looking at their lineup, yes, there's a Farsa, yes, there's a Beatrix, but they're relatively dull, or there's not much teeth here in the first few minutes, right? You're looking at a Barats, you're looking at a Uranus. Like, they have to pick their fights.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just about the timing of when to pick those fights, not just about the in-game timing, but the items that they can have. Imagine if they do get like the Sky Helmet eventually, or the War Axe on this Barats, then combo it up with the Blade of Despair into the Malefic Roar or Hunter Strike from this or Demon Hunter Sword, I mean, for this Beatrix, they can tear through all of the turrets and just win the team fights and roll over Onyx PH eventually. Then again, they don't have the hard engage. So we'll see. Honestly, the bigger problem that Onyx PH will face now is wave clear. They do have wave clear, like Nathan as well as the Paquito, if you think about it, the Yisun Shin. But then again, they kind of have to just focus on those minions. They don't have mages like Farsa, Lilia, or the Eve to actually stop this slow push, slow siege from Blacklist.
Even on a marksman to marksman comparison, you have the Nathan versus Beatrix. Beatrix's ults, or even a switch up of a weapon makes it so much easier. In comparison, Nathan still has to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah,
absolutely. But you know, I think it's not about the wave clear. I think it's more about the range, right? Because the Farsa, with the Farsa, technically, what you can look for in the sieges is you're able to zone away these marksmen from hitting the minions, right? So it's not about just the pure wave clear. Because honestly, if I'm looking at both of the compositions, their wave clear, they're both equally good. One has more damage with the abilities, the other one goes for the old-fashioned way, like you mentioned, Leo. But it's all about that range. It's all about these dynamics from both of these matchups. The Farsa will definitely be a huge disability for the Yisun Shin and the Natan. But then again, they also have this Yuzong. This Yuzong that is going to be just such a nuisance once again for the Farsa. It's all going to come down to how they execute these pushes, these sieges, these everything in these team fights as well.
Yep, there's so much value eventually for this Farsa as the first pick for side of Blacklist International. It's a one-size-fits-all kind of hero. When it comes to the mid lane choices, Farsa has been one of the top priorities for teams because it is a hero that normally doesn't get banned out, and it's actually, you know, it fits almost all of the strategies because of that wave clear as well as the long-range vision that you get out, and there's also a stun. It's just really so much value for Blacklist International. To top it all off, Onyx PH went for a double marksman setup, which, you know, Farsa loves to play in those kind of situations.
She just melts him, she just puts him down. But here we go. Wolf just explained exactly why Farsa is so important in the current metagame, as she was years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2, Blacklist International versus Onyx PH. It is indeed going to be a mid-lane Paquito, and I feel like it's going to play the same role as a mid-lane Cho without the CC, but more of a re-engaged tool.
Let's see, again, Voloisky is going to be instantly in that top side towards Marky.
狙ってるスナイパーで。
What you need. Yeah, all right. Marky's picking up that gold buff, and happy feet.
Yep. You have to time it between the Renner Blast from Oheb, who is very good at doing that, stealing things from out of nowhere, from other people's noses. I'm wondering when Venus is going to do the same, when Venus is going to go help out. Actually, not just Haji here as well. It's a 3v1. Marky may have gone trapped, uses the flicker already, and the stun, and speeding him up, and there's the kill. First blood. Goes on over to Oheb.
Yep, very overzealous there, very overextended for Marky. He knew that Voloisky was no longer there. Technically, if Voloisky was still there, he could have gone for something. But again, yeah, Voloisky has other things on his plate. He needs to be able to secure these positions and open up the map. And there you go, Kyrie going into the enemy jungle.
Yep. Well, that's what Weiss also did.
Here comes a swing back, level 4 Kyrie jumping in, Oheb looking low, flicker already used up, Hatred dashing in, takes a few hits, and they disengage.
Nice pressuring the mid lane as well, as look at this Uranus just being a problem against this Yu Zhong. It's actually, when it comes to the Yu Zhong versus the Uranus, what the Uranus can do is just to cut the waves and actually not engage against the Yu Zhong, and might win that fight because of that.
Oh, Black Dragon form used up by Delarski already. Retreating. Turtle security is by the STV with the help of Kylie. And it's going to be one down one. Delarski taking a few hits, and they go ahead and retreat. Huge trade though, huge swings on the map.
Yeah, that's really good for the side of Blacklist International. Sure, Onyx PH, they were able to steal away the turtle. That actually, now I'm confused. Because it's good for both of them, right? Kyrie getting the assist, getting that turtle, and also just scaling really well right now over than, you know, better than Wise at this point. If you can take a look at the items, he's already building towards, oh, wait a minute.
Alright, so he's
already building towards that War Axe. And again, for Yisun Shin, this is one of the crucial items that you need to get early on to secure that. Those stacks are going to matter a lot, that movement speed. In the team fights, in the push, everything you do, it is going to rely on that right now. And Onyx Philippines, they need to just keep on scaling until those item power spikes hit.
Yep, which really makes me think that Onyx PH will try to play this slowly. As long as they're keeping their turrets, they're fine. Make sure that the mid lane turret will not be touched by Blacklist International.
今のはちょっとゾンの打ち上げが入ったか
They're
ら
just gonna be waiting for
ワイ
their
ズが
timing
半
as
と
well.
使え
Again, if there are
て
two
なかっ
items
た使えてなか
available
った
for OHEV, I'm assuming this will be the Demon Hunter Sword after the Blade of Despair. Combo that up with Haji's damage out from the Clock of Destiny and the Truncheon. The siege potential from Blacklist International, especially with two frontliners, it's gonna be great. And Onyx PH, they don't have the wave clear to stop that from happening.
And again, just in that moment earlier, this fight down here, it's a dance-off. It's two very chunky heroes going.
いやでも連
In
戦
mid, Haji alone able to
ゾ
fight
ン
off
集団
three
戦
and
強
clear
い
the
け
wave.
ど
That's how
連
important the
戦ちょっ
Farsa
と
is
し
in
んど
this
そう
game.
だ
And that's
な
how great the wave clears for Blacks International at this current stage of the
フラ
game.
ンスが
4
めっ
minutes
ちゃ自由
in.
に
Onyx Page want to set something up. They're blasting Haji from
あ
the bottom.
レースアッ
Kyrie
プし
still
たん
has
か
a
しんどい
skateboard.
か
His
ら
eponymous skateboard.
I think he's waiting for his purple buff, and then the turtle will appear in 3 seconds.
Ah,
And most
so
likely
ka.
will just proxy the wave, just cut it out. Or maybe even join the fight. He's actually coming forward and might be joining the fight.
Watch out. They start with a Fed airstrike.
ニュート
4
松
men
松
from Blacklist International set up for the second turtle. Mountain Chakra, they know exactly where everyone is. Delarski coming
うわ
in with the Black Dragon
ゾンのそのウルト強すぎる
And they catch so many bullets from Oheb. That's going to be
お
one
うお
down.
ニュートいい
It's a 2 for 1. Wise. Be wise. Traded for Delarski.
あやばいやばい
They're not done. Marky tries to blast down Edward, and they disengage.
ラップする
So
タイミング
far, Onyx PH able to
ラ
get
ップ
away
のタイミング
scot-free.
うまっ
Yeah, and not just
しっ
that,
か
they
り
get the
ロ
turtle,
ー
and
勝
now
る前
they're
に
pushing in. Again, remember,
アップし
Onyx
てんのよか
PH,
った
they have this composition which is actually kind of weaker here in the early stages. Managing to get the lead is going to be insane. Just going even alone, or maybe even
ゾン下だ
1,000
ったら
gold
ちょっと
behind,
遅
it's
れ
going
そう
to
や
be
っ
fine
た
for
し
them.
な
But guess what?
で
They
も間に合
are
わ
in
んか
the
った
lead
よ
right now,
ゾン
picking up the
下
good
だと
fights, and look at how they're playing these team fights. Perfection. The
あ
winning
タート
condition
ル
really
前に
shining
ター
through
トル側
here
にゾ
for
ンがい
Onyx.
て
That's because of this Yuzhong Amena from Delarski. He
ニュ
did
ート
die
は
in the clash.
処理と
We
足早い
managed
か
to
ら
find Wise
反
as
対側
well
か
as Oh My Venus, and then eventually shut down Haji from popping off that feathered airstrike. And now they are beating him indeed.
They're finding him, and it's a 2v1 in mid and in top. They've switched their lanes after the second turtle, and Kyrie coming in, threatening a kill onto Edward.
おられそう
Same story, bottom lane, and off-camera kill. Down goes Baloyski.
てかニュートが
courtesy
耐えてんの
of Wise.
でかいな
Edward is
下
okay,
で
confident he's not gonna die. Take that
ビアラファ
tier 1
に
up
対
top.
して
Yeah, absolutely. And now with the tier 1
ブラッ
up
ク
top,
リスト
it
の
is
選
gonna
手
set
みたい
up
にな
for
って
the
るどういう
next
こと
turtle, but Blacklist, they are looking for the trade. Marky getting sniped, and
ア
this
ン
is
ニョン
where he needs to
アンニョ
recall.
ン
Nope, he cancels it. Wise and Venus.
He's
あー挟まれた
It's too much to
あー
survive.
ミニョンが
Wise
残
gets
ってるから
that, and
こ
they
れ
will
は
convert
ちょ
directly
っと
into this tier
痛い
1.
な
Oh, let's see what happens here,
ほら
Oh, Detna's welcome. Get in my belly. Flicker already used up. Baloysi getting spotted here. Wise still stomping away.
What
They
a-
retreat.
A great pickoff coming up from Blacklist International. Because of the death of Baloyski in the mid lane, was no one to actually supply the vision for Onyx PH to guard the side of Marky. And Blacklist International took full advantage of
Oh,
that.
hatred so close to biting it. The huge range
こ
on
れ
the
は
airstrike up
ター
top.
トル
Delarski
あで
still
も
trying to take
ゾン
down
ウルトは
Edward,
まだある
Baloyski, and Delarski. The ski
から
bars. Here comes the rest of Blacks International. Circling Eagle. Black Dragon
ゾンウ
Born.
ル
They
トっ
answer
てうわでも
back.
ビアのあれが
With the
痛い
passion, blasting
う
the
わ
laps.
ニュートのそれちょっと
SMG,
いいよ
and look at this Delarski.
夏
He's
うお
right in the middle of all
打
of
ち上げ
them.
入っ
Taken
た
down by the sniper.
から
Point
タートル
blank.
は
Baloyski blasting away.
取れて
Kyrie secures a third turtle.
ニュート
Was
が
that worth it? A body
フラッ
for
シ
the
ュあるけ
turtle.
どいかない
This point for Onyx PH.
いや
that's
ニュート
okay,
の
as long as it's not it's
あ
not
れ
Marky.
ちょっとうざいな
Oh, swing back, they answer. Edward puts a few stacks of the Ionic Edge. Marky to the rescue, cutting this team fight short.
Yeah, as I was saying, it's gonna be a good trade because of the fact that it's not Marky who's dying in these fights. As long as Marky as well as Kyrie are,
そう
are okay
そういうこと
getting all of these farms.
ブラックリ
It's
ストの
okay. But then
俺だけ
again,
ずっ
you
と映
have
っ
to be
てるや
careful
ん
for
そしたら
Delarski. Maybe that's their last death. Eventually, Onyx PH will rely on the tankiness of both Baloyski and Delarski. Both of them not having the
背景透過
best
させてな
kind
い
of
から
tank
さ
ability, but that is the
無
best
理
that
なんよ
Onyx
ね
PH can rely on in this game. Eventually, the lineup of Blacklist
別に真ん中
International
くらい
can
に
burst
しても
down
いいん
these
だけど
fighters, so you have to take note of not dying so that you get the farm
見え
for
て
all
た
those
方がいい
defensive items.
見えてた
Oh,
方がいい
Wise
だろうか
already
ら
starting up with the Detna's welcome, cancels it. In goes Marky. That's gonna be a forward
Okay, nice.
entropy, and down down goes Wise. Enough firepower to go for the counter engage as Haji puts up a defensive feathered airstrike. They're not done though. The Queen says we can take this. The Queen says we can try to take this, and they're gonna go ahead and defend bottom lane. Oh, Kyrie! Crits onto the Filipino sniper. 2 free kills plus a turret down bottom. Onyx PH back on the map.
Like we said in the draft, it's
Zone 入ったな、
it's
一瞬。
been crucial in these team fights. Look at the timing that
止まらん
was
よ、
able
こ
to
っ
use
から
that
もう。
Black Dragon form. He didn't do it initially. He waited up until Farsa was in position, then he pops it. That's where Haji, he just can't go for that feathered airstrike anymore. Now with the Lightning Truncheon build, he will do a significant more damage. But the thing is, when are you going to use that ultimate? You have to have that perfect timing and the perfect positioning. That's not going to happen, man. Delarski is just so on point with this Black Dragon form, and they're already using those pushes, those sieges, utilizing the Natan and that Isun Shin.
Watch out for the map. It's a little bit of a split push for Onyx PH as they want to use Hatred on the mid lane role to show the minion wings up top.
Oh, it's a full-on engage as Delarski has to use the Black
いやでも
Dragon
ゾーンが落ち
defensive
る。
way, and he's taken up by Wise on the
誰の火
retreat.
力だビアか
No punish at all on the side.
でもこれロード
of PH
大丈夫
as
か
Balozi gets
やばいマチが
and still survives, uses that flicker at the nick of
やばいんじゃない
time. But Lord here taken down to almost half health. Here comes Hatred. Walks into a 4-man, a 3-man. He's dashing around. Mountain Shocker. Kyrie trying to keep
いやでもロードは
his
触れ
mid
な
laner
触
alive.
触
Feather
れ
Strike sent
触
in.
れな
Hey,
さ
hey,
おお
from the north,
う
takes
まい
it down. Traded for his own life. It's a messy team
でも
fight
これ
for
美味しいんじゃない
Black and Onyx. Neither want to give up this Lord.
Well played by Onyx Philippines. That should have been them losing every
触るん
single
かな
time with Delarski dead. But look at the way they're able to just save time,
10秒
get
だから
some
もう
time
触
on
ら
the
ん
board
か
for Delarski to
ま
spawn
だもな
back.
いし
Sure,
ねと
that was Hatred picked off, but it's a mid lane for the mid lane. Now with Delarski here, it is going to be much, much better for the side of Onyx PH.
Oh man, this is
いや
crazy.
逃げてたらめちゃくちゃ
As,
熱かった
Delarski really just relies on this Yuzhong ultimate to really mess up with against Blacklist
いやでもこれ多
International.
分
And then of course
お
Hatred
肉フィリピンの方
sniping
が
Haji. Was it worth it? Because they still lost one hero for that. So 1-for-1 trade-off.
今
I
の
guess
ア
the
ド
answer is yes
あり
because
そ
they,
う
at
一
least
戦
they
が
stopped
パ
the
ーム
road take from
できちゃう
Blacklist
から
International.
こ
But
の
you
間
have to
に
be
また
very careful about Onyx PH.
長引くほど
International is a team that really punishes
一戦がね
those
育って
trades.
くんよな多
When
分
the
す
trades
ごい
look
速さで
favorable for Onyx PH, it seems like Blacklist International just finding ways to even up the
一戦あと
trade
2
or
個ビ
even
ルド
just
詰め
one
る
up Onyx PH because of their small movements in the game. For example, really just poking this Delarski Yuzhong to the point where he's forced to use the ultimate.
Now let's take a look at the items here with Kyrie building up already the BOD, all right? This is where he is going to be so powerful. Maybe next item is going to be the Malefic Roar or the DHS consider. Yeah, it's going to be either one, all right? It's preference for the side of Onyx PH.
Oh, starting it up with the feathered airstrike.
Not good.
Not good. I mean, it was used for vision. They do have that. They need that to be able to open up the map.
うわニュート
Oh, Haji spotted by Marquis. That's a lot of damage, but Baloyski will not fully commit. Maybe once bitten, twice shy, Baloyski.
Yeah. There was a time where Marquis is
これどうなる
the bad boy.
4対5だけど
himself and
ファイリーでも取り切ろうとし
Here
と
we
る
go. Circling Eagle plus the Black
いやでも浦野選手邪魔されてる
Fifth of its health. Wise dead as well.
あーファーサーいてやばいハント負けおラファが取ったんかうわーうわー
Blacklist International punishes the micro mistakes as Baloyski bites it. Edward takes his head. It's only one left. It's
ちょっ
just
とロードを殴ってたんがちょっ
Not just the
と
timing of that fight, but look at the
痛か
members.
った
Hatred
な
was
なんか
nowhere
ベイト
near that Lord,
多分
and
絶
they
対ベイ
still
トせん
forced
とい
it
けん
out.
かった
That
状
was
況
them
や
getting
な
overzealous, greedy, and Blacklist will completely just punish them.
My God, it's
マジ
not
で
an answer. There's no way
終わる
to
っ
get the power of
て
Onyx
やばいやばいやばい
PH.
やばい
Clear. They have Marquis this time.
Oh, Hatred
いけニュート
way too much. Via the
ファーサー痛すぎる
passion, Mountain Shocker. The help clear the waves. And
でもまだ終わらないやろうなこっからまたロード来るから
That is going to be
あでも
so,
いい回復や
so
ったよニュー
bad
ト
for
が
Onyx PH, man. They've lost that inhibitor turret in the mid lane. Remember,
Da-
the side lanes are bad, but that mid lane is going to be bad, even worse here, as they're just, wait, they might just go in for the
They're
push.
not letting go. Look at where Edward is. He's putting so many stats on
あー
him.
ファーサー痛すぎるてかファーサー強すぎる
There's the Toto's welcome. Get in my belly.
あーやばいやばい上も折れる
Turret down bottom. Top lane going to be next up on the docket for Blacklist International. They are calculating
誰か止めてくれ、あのファーサーを。 いや、痛そう。
They're bursting him down. He's gonna survive. There's a Mount Shocker landing on all 5 members of Blast International, but they're not done. Hatred weaving in and out, stinging like a bee. There's a knockup. Down goes Edward. Huge punish from Onyx, but the Filipino sniper takes him from the back.
Oh, sniper?
Kyrie goes down. Delarski as well. 3 defenders left, but it's not done. Not quite yet. As Hatred gets taken down again. Ohead.
スナイパー当てたのにすんね。頑張れ、ニュートン。お、ナイスウルト受け。やばいやばい、やばいやばいやばいやばいやばいやばい。ブラックリスト集団でうますぎ。うわ、マジかよ。もうオヘブめっちゃ生き生きしてるやん。ちょっと見たいやけど、イス死んだところ。ここか。これ。うわ、マジか。うわ、マジか。オヘムのスナイパーうますぎるってこれ。マジで。いや、ちょっとロード戦ブラックリストがうますぎてうまかったな。多分イスンあの状況で多分ウラノスに粘着されながらロード殴るのちょっとしんどいんやな。しかもファーサー、これもファーサーのせいファーサーのせいはあると正直。あれファーサーのウルトなかったら惚れてたっぽいしな、あの感じ。ウラノスのせいじゃない、あれは。ファーサーのウルトが悪い。あれはずるすぎる。一発でボンって当てただけやん、あれ。
Man, oh man,
that
is amazing. The fact that Onyx Philippines, they
only
had
a
multi-dimensional draft.
なんかファーサ感あるな今。誰かファーサを止めな。いやこれファーサをどうにかせんといけんな絶対に。
Thanks, boys. Welcome back, everybody, to the analyst stand once more. This is a pretty interesting game because overall we did see a good battle coming.
ゾンがすごい柔らかそうやったんよね。ビアのデモハンとかかな。なんかすごい食らってた気がする。
That's a wipeout. Game number 2 going over to Blacklist International. Range. To distract him, but it's not gonna happen. Marky gets taken down by Haji. Max range. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wipeout. Game number 2 going over to Blacklist International.
Because looking at the side of Onyx Philippines,
マジか。やばいよこれ。あっけなく終わっちゃうかもしれない。いや多分マジで。ウラノスの前張りあったかいですね。削られてもすぐ戻ってこれるのがマジででかい。なんか見てる感じ一番ウラノスがだるい。なあ今見てる感じ EXP キャラでうわダリーって思うのがなんかウラノス1位になったら個人的に。
Honestly, one of the few things that still frustrate me overall is just the fact that the drafts have been so good. Honestly, you guys should be checking these games out. And a big shout out to our travel partner.
イスンじゃなかったな。イスンじゃなかったな。完全にファーサだったな。ちょっとずるいな。ファーサ、バラッツとウラノスが前張るから。ファーサが安心してダメージ出せる。
Just like you said, they turned it around a little bit because in the first game they really tried to focus on the early game. Now they're trying to focus on
やめてこのまま終わるのは。
the Natan as well as the Yisun Shin.
いやまだある。
The Yisun Shin very well. He managed to control the early mid stages.
でもバグ変わらんやろうな。オニックフィリピンが多分また同じバーンされるだろうから あの番でなんかのキャラで無双すれば番が変わりそう。ちょっとS1 ファーサだよね、確か。S1 ファーサでゾーンイスんだよね。
Yeah, and actually in this kind of situation, yeah, we gotta talk about their incredible mechanics, but just, in my opinion, anyone can play that good when you have someone like Edward creating that much space. But we do have to see how Onyx Philippines is almost desperate in the way that they try to engage, where Beloyski, the Larsky, and the Hatred, they try to dive the back line, and the idea itself is good. I just feel like the execution is not being well placed.
いやー、なんかやばいな、また迷走し始めそう、俺ラファエル自分の。俺のラファさ、最初グリサップでやってたんよ。グリサップでやってた理由がさ、アイテムを早く積むためにやってたんだけどさ、ハラツもしまくるから通常打ったり知識打ったり。でも途中で起死回生のスペルが速くなるやつも強いなって思い始めて、103秒106秒
does not help to get early pressure in the game.
でもちょっとグリサップにまた戻ってきそう、なんだかんだ。
We know for a fact that Onyx PH, when you're seeing Marky, he's doing a phenomenal job this Natan, no doubt about it. All of these members have the mechanics, however, with the composition and lineup that they have, it's all about all inning. Blacklist International, they pull in, they pull out, they use a couple of resources, utilize a holy baptism, doesn't really matter. It feels like they have multiple tries compared to Onyx PH, who only have one big hit.
Yeah, but the thing is, all of those damage, again, for the side of Onyx Philippines, there's a lot of damage, but all of them is going to Edward, which is our sandbag.
しかもラファエルのさ、タリスマンさ、マジで強いんだよね。ガチで。永遠に帰らなくて済むから回復するだけでいいから。スキル回し速くなってマナも切れないし回復が永遠にできるから、俺はめっちゃタリスマン、途中でタリスマン積むのは押してる、余裕あれば。
That Uranus has to go.
Yeah, either figure out a way to really stop him or just respect and say ban him because
ウラノスとバラッツが前張るから、でファーサとファーサが一番後ろにいて、バラッツとウラノスが前にいて、レアと誰だっけ、ファが多分同じ位置にいるのかな、真ん中に。だからラファは完全フルタンクじゃなくていいから。
From Oh My Venus, the artillery coming in from Haji, Oheb, the big finisher.
Yeah, whenever we're looking at snipers, they need a lot of time. They need to make sure that they know where the target is going. Hold their breath for a bit, keep the aim steady, and then shoot. And again, in this kind of situation, he has a lot of space. He just gotta make sure he hits the right targets. And most of the time, he hits the right targets.
I don't know how he doesn't miss. It's ridiculous.
いや、ブラックリストの集団戦がうますぎるな、さっきから。オヘブちょっと悪そうな顔しとる。オヘブって一回 MPL でなんかやらかしたんだっけ、中指立てたっけ、確かオヘブが。
Yeah, looking at game number one, this is a situation where Onyx Philippines, they really controlled the early game, and just like we said, it's mostly because they have a lot of wave clears, so they can move around the map a little bit faster. But
いや、ファーサ感あるよな、なんかこれラウス死んだのはファーサのせいだしな。モバイルビーナスすかしたんや、フラッシュウルト。いや、
Blacklist International, what people need to start realizing is that the UBE isn't about, hey, we're supporting one another. It's just the sheer reaction speed, how quick information passes between each of the members to make the most
ファーサーが目立つ
optimal decision.
な。
Yeah, and in this kind of team fight, always look at Haji.
ニック・フィリピンがバン
Whenever you
変えて
open
き
this
そう。
better airstrike,
なん
there's
なら
not many space for Marky
次の試合。
as well as Kyrie to really run away. And this is why we say that Farsa is a very, very good counter to Marksman just because of the sheer range as well as damage that she can do. Because usually people are like, oh, the damage is strong. But imagine if you're a Marksman, one hit and you're basically out of the match.
I feel like at this point, even with the new
オーバービーダースかわいい。
ways to actually deny or at least cancel the feathered airstrike, it is still a hard game. Mechanics can only take you so far. The execution is almost looking so good for Onyx at times, but if you have two mechanically perfect teams, it really does come down to the small things in life, like the draft.
Yeah, and speaking of small things in life, Rafaela can just heal them up in case if they do get something wrong. Like even if Haji was targeted, all right, let's just heal Haji back, fly around, wait for the time, and then just feather a strike again.
It's crazy. Honestly, it's so crazy. I can't wait to see how Game 3 is going to go, but both of these teams are going to have to take some time to rethink their strategies once more. In the meantime, let's throw it over to our host, and it looks like he's got a special little guest.
Thank you very much, Gideon Q as well as Lavelle for all the analysis for Game 1 as well as Game 2. Yep, to echo Gideon Q's words, taking a short break from all the action right now to bring up a star here in Singapore. Now, Mara, I must say, firstly, thank you so much. I've learned so much about Filipino culture, Filipino celebrities. You introduced me to Alodia. How about I return you the favor? This guy who's going to come on stage right now, if you search his name up on YouTube or any social media, you would learn this guy is a social media mogul. Let's bring him up here, Tien Hao Tan from Singapore. Come on up here, buddy. Big round of applause, please, Suntec City.
Hi.
How are you doing?
This is so crazy. I didn't expect to be on stage. Hi, everyone.
I know.
We have to have you here on stage. We heard how popular you are here in Singapore. So first of all, what do you think about the game so far? Blacklist International versus Sonic Philippines.
Yeah, it's really intense. I mean, I came here as a fan to support the whole game, and like, wow, I'm just really
アウロードとエスタス
overwhelmed
バ
by
ンするならイブ
everything.
ファー
It's
サーで言うわけじゃ
really
なくて
Now,
イブ
Tien,
ファ
not to
ー
put
サ
you
ー
in the
って本当
spot,
な
but
のか
who do
な
you have your guest coins on? Who are you picking for tonight? Blacklist or Onyx, or do you want to
本
keep
当
it
には
secret
な
for
らないん
now?
じゃな
I
い
mean,
か
if you
な
want me to make a guess, I
なんか
would
ファーサー
go
の
with
方がちょっ
Blacklist, but you
と
never know, right? It seems pretty intense, so
ど
yeah.
っちもいやなんかファーストの方が多分ちょっと一個上回ってる気がする
Titan Gaming as well. What do you think? One day will you see them here on the world stage?
今のところ
MLBB or
ちょっ
any
と
other
ファースト
esports?
が
Oh yeah,
うま
I
い
think for sure one day they will be there. I mean, they are
さっきから
over there supporting
They're right
today, but I'm sure maybe next year. Who knows?
And you know, this being one of the first few events here in Singapore, what do you
Yeah.
think of the
え
atmosphere
でも
so
トン
far?
トンっ
buddy?
てどうなる
Wow,
の
it's
トントン
crazy. I've never been to something like this before, and honestly, I'm just
どうなんだ
so
ろう
proud
な
of
やっぱでも
everyone.
ファーストの方が
and
ちょ
so
っ
proud
と
of the whole game, and it's really cool to be
強
here.
そう
It's
だ
such
け
an
ど
honor to
な
be here.
So we want to know,
どう
you
なんだろ
play
う
Mobile Legends, bang bang,
Yes.
right? What is your favorite hero?
My favorite hero is Sicilian.
Oh, mage.
Yeah.
Okay, let's know what rank. What rank?
セシリオンが好きな
Oh my. Okay, that sounds like you're pretty high up there. What is it?
I'm just an epic.
Oh, epic. Okay.
Epic.
You know what? You come join us. We'll lift you up.
I was-
I'm only on legend. I'm only on legend.
I was gonna say the season's gonna reset very soon, so all of us might drop back to Epic as well as Legend, especially over at Mythic or Mythical Glory. Now, Tien Hao, anything you want to say to the audience watching you all over the world? Maybe say give them a taste of Singapore if you want to.
Oh well, yeah. Hi. Thanks for watching.
Big round of applause, please, for Tien Hao Tan. Now, you know what? Go on down, enjoy the game. I think your lovely wife is there. Hello. Good to see you as well. We'll see you soon on stage, okay?
Yeah.
Thank
now,
you so much.
watch your step as you make your way down, buddy. This is a big drop. There we go. Ha! This guy, I tell you, going places, he's gonna go higher. Every single video he posts is almost like 1 million views on YouTube.
And he started about 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, so
Wow, making waves.
I think this was back in the year 2012 or 2013. I met him and he was still in what? I think secondary school. And now he's become a big name here in Singapore.
And he's so wholesome. He's so humble. I loved interviewing him.
Mara, I didn't get to ask you this as well. I mean, we asked Tien Hao Tan this. What is your favorite hero on Mobile Legends?
Healing for everyone. Rafaela and revenge has blinded me. Farsa.
Wow. Okay, and since nobody asked, I'm just going to say my favorite hero has not been picked, I think. Tigreal. I love playing tank.
We need a tank. We need a tank all the time.
Yeah,
That's
for
needed.
honor. There we go. Now, I believe we are going to get to game 3 very, very soon. Onyx PH against Blacklist International. Once again,
ファーさんの
people
ウ
in the
ルト
crowd,
一
if you're
発が
wearing
ね
your
痛いん
flags,
よ
if you're
な
wearing your
さっきから
jerseys, can you show it to us right now here at
あの
Sunset
火力
City?
が
There you
ちょ
go.
っといい
Very loud.
しんどい
Onyx as well. I see you all the way at the back.
イブも
Thank
イブで
you
違
so
ううざ
much,
さがあるん
Mara.
だけ
And
ど
for everybody online, let us know who you're rooting for and make sure you use the hashtag Pilipinas
ど
lang
うなんだろうな
malakas.
んかファ
Or
ーさ
even use the hashtag to the top. Once again, a big thank you to our friends over at
いやなんか
Moontalk
今
for
イブよりファー
powering
サ
this
ーのが
entire event.
強そうこの
Supported by the Singapore
この二人の
Tourism
こ
Board,
の2
rather,
チームの試合で
and
は
presented
ちょ
by
っとファー
Mara.
さんのが強いんじゃないかって思っちゃうわ
Official gaming gear, Razer.
And of course, Tumi, our official travel partner.
And not forgetting all the chairs that you see
So
on
comfy.
stage, keeping the players comfortable. Our
でも
friends
次お
over
肉
at
フィリピン
Secret
が
Lab.
先
Frank
行
by
だから
OCBC Bank,
ファ
our
ーサー
official
は
payment
取りに行け
partner.
る
Our official network partner, keeping things connected right here in Singapore, Singtel 5G.
MeWatch, our partner in esports.
S1 で取る
And
か
our global
バン
social
するか
media
はしそう
network,
な
Facebook
気はする
Gaming.
けど
Thank you so much for partnering up. I think the analysis, or rather the analysts,
They're
are
ready.
Let's hand you over to Marco, Leo, and Wolf. Take it away, gentlemen.
Someone pinch me, I must be dreaming. This is a little too close for comfort to the MPL Philippines Season 8 Grand Finals. Welcome back to the desk at your service. My name is Leo, joined here by Mirko and the Wolf. And if I'm not mistaken, man, this is a lot like what we just did a few months back.
Well, you know, I was able to talk to some of the Filipinos while I was actually walking towards during our break. And I also came up with this guy who mentioned that maybe Onyx Philippines' kryptonite is definitely Blacklist International. We can see that in the first 2 games as they just got schooled by Blacklist International. I think that you have to give credit to the Lord Fight formation coming out from the side of Blacklist International. It was just amazing how they punished Onyx Philippines.
So far, it's been true. You know, you say it, a lot of the Onyx fans, they don't like it, but so far it has been true. But most of it coming from that ultra responsiveness of Blacklist draft and their win condition.
They're so well connected, it seems like they might actually be on Singtel 5G. Unlock ultra responsive gaming with 2 times lower latency and get the edge you need while gaming on the go with Singtel 5G, SG's most powerful 5G network. Again, going around Singapore during our free time and even now just around Suntec, Singtel's always kept us online. Thank you again so much, Singtel 5G. Now, back to the topic at hand. Blacklist International always seems to have Onyx PH's number. As a spectator, having seen the performance of these 2 teams from across the
進行者でも
scene,
ファーサー止
from
まらない
where
の
you
さすが
are,
に
ask you in just a bit
ファーサーがちょっと
exactly
上
how
手す
you
ぎ
feel
る
about this
のは
new
あ
rivalry
る
that we
だろ
have.
うな
But first up,
ビンとかハヤブサ空いてたらちょっと変わるかもしれないけど
I can't believe it. We're actually going to be getting
多分
a
一生あかん
marksman and tank hybrid in Edith.
でもニック・フィリピンがどういうドラフトするかよな次
Alright,
3戦
upgrade
目
your M3 pass to level 3 to unlock the Edith exchange token and use a token to exchange it for free on December 21st. If you don't have Edith exchange token just yet, make sure you just grab the M3 pass, okay? There's so much in there. I mean, we all got it already. We've been playing every day. You can log in from December 17th and 19th to get 4,000 free M3 pass experience points. So what are you waiting for? Do it now. Back to the topic at hand. What's it like watching these 2 teams go at it again and again, and now finally at the world stage? What's it looking like?
It's looking good right now, especially if you're a Blacklist fan, especially if you're Blacklist right now. Look at how they're able to just play and force their playstyle onto Onyx 2 games in a row. These drafts, again, for Blacklist, is the natural UBE that we saw in Game 2, but they're still able to just push it forward. Again, the refined version, but I didn't expect that. I thought Onyx PH would have their number by that time. And, oh, look at this now. It is going to be Onyx Philippines. They need to adapt faster.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you got distracted by Angela and Fanny. Shout out to the cosplayers in the crowd. I was going to say, yeah, Wolf, where might that turn come from?
フィリピンのゴールドレーナー、オニックフィリピン誰だっけあ、マーキーか。
flip the switch.
Well, they have to, I would say,
フィリピンのゴールドレーナーうまい
not really
さっき
better,
から
but more like let's make sure that they have kept their house clean, for example. Because you're looking at the draft, they pick up the Matilda back-to-back against the Rafaela. When
頼
some
むよ
teams,
カイリ
they
ー
themselves pick up the Rafaela against the Matilda so many times before. And they are also looking to give that Farsa, well, it's technically not their choice
カイリー
anyways
の
because it was
答えめっ
first
ちゃ
picked
綺麗
by
じゃ
the
ない
side of Blacklist International. But the thing is, they went not only for one marksman, but two of the marksmen that is really struggling against this Farsa. Surely it looked like they were having a good time, and I think that they are using the Yuzhong to kind of answer that. But then again, they're trying to answer one hero with several heroes, and I think that's not the Onyx PH way to go. Looking at their upper bracket run, they're always the ones who actually dictate the draft.
And I'm guessing this is where Delarski's Uranus comes into play, because it's that one hero that forces like 3 or 4 people to say, look at me, look at me. Look at me.
I kind of expected that to come in game number 1. In game number 2, it was the Farsa and Uranus combo that we see coming out from the side of Blacklist International.
Twice in a row now.
初見です。こんばんは。こんばんは。今、ブラックリストが2ゲーム取ってて2-0です。BO7 なんで4試合勝てば。
Well, right now the Uranus is still standing at a 100% win rate after the 2 times it's been picked in the series. So yes, it is a very, very good hero. And like Gideon, I really dislike this hero, but it's hard to say. But yes, it is a very, very good hero right now. We've seen it just used so well here in the last 2 games, and I would like to see Delarski take it away from Blacklist.
That might be step 1 in a grocery list of procedures for Onyx PH to come back.
ブラックリストの方めっちゃ生き生きだけど、オニックフィリピンの方ちょっとドボーンってなってる。
What might be going through their heads?
Well, they have to think about it in a way that it's a best of 7. So, technically speaking, it's far from match point. They have to not lose one game before the match point eventually, force more games against Blacklist International. So, mentally speaking, this is great because we had a break, quite a longer time between both Game 2 and Game 3. Maybe they have thought about their strategy more than Games 1 and 2. They have been talking about it. They have a little bit break. And knowing Coach Yeb, he knows how to keep his boys in check. Make sure that nothing goes awry in this series.
Yeah, now more than ever, I think Coach Yeb's main strength as that authority figure, as that older brother, alongside Baloyski, who's trying his best to keep calm right now. He's I believe, looking at the scene, looking at the atmosphere, it seems maybe there is something.
こんばんは。来年はシナさんここにいるかもしれない。
This is the situation in Onyx right now.
頑張りま
It's
す。
to understand that we're far from
ブラッ
done.
クリス
It's
ト。
not yet match point.
うんこも
And
間違
we
いな
have
く
to
強い
play
ので、ブ
better
ラック
from
の
here
そう
on. As for Blacklist, what
ある。
might they be
い
thinking?
や、ブラックリスト
Blacklist, I mean, there's
め
only
っ
one
ちゃ
thing they're
波に乗っ
thinking.
てますね。
That
なんか
every
試合前はオ
trophy,
ニック
man,
フィリ
alright?
ピンの
The
方
thing is,
が
they need to stay calm
調
and
子良さ
composed
そ
to
う。
get there, alright?
なんかオニックフィリピンと
They
が
are right now
ワンゲームとか
two
取るん
games
じゃないか
ahead
と思
of
ったけど、
RPH.
ブラ
They
ックリス
certainly
トが
have the lead, but they
集団
cannot
戦うますぎて。
get content. All right, that's one of the things that Blacklist coach
タートル
Bonchan actually said
戦
during the interview. They like they
と
got
かロー
too
ド戦
comfortable
の
after they won
戦い方がすごい
the last time in
う
MSC
まい。
and now yesterday as well in the group stage after going 3-0. They felt like they've done it.
Yep.
They felt like they've already won, getting placed against BTK, a team that no one expected to do well. They woke up these sleeping dragons that now are coming with pure vengeance here. They had a long road to the upper brackets. I mean, from the upper brackets down to the lower and now to the grand finals. It seems like they're not the normal Blacklist. This is a
カイリってい
war
くつ
veteran Blacklist.
I agree, and that's
めっ
really
ちゃ顔
scary. The
幼
point
く
feel
ない
that putting the Blacklist International in the lower bracket is just it's just a scary thing to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not up to Onyx PH when that happened, but the thing is, this is Blacklist International, like you said, hardened by battle, and they know that they are
頑張れって
warmed
言っ
up
てる。
and ready. That what 24 games
いや、まあ、ガチで頑張って
so
ほしい、オ
far
ニックフィリピン。
before this series. Now coming up to their 27th game all throughout M3. It kind of feels like their strategy has not changed at all. But at the same time, it looks like their hero pool is fast. That's how crazy it is watching Blacklist International. We always say that they have quite the limited hero pool, but it's more like it's an active choice for them not to pick the heroes that they feel don't give them value in their draft.
Yeah, that statement that Blacklist International has very few heroes is an oxymoron, because we know for sure that they're capable of making new strategies. And just like that, they have changed the game, and now they are so much closer, 2 games away from winning the World Championships. I'm loving the
カイリは
energy here.
2005年生まれ。
I'm
え、
loving
じゃあ
the
16?
suggestions.
7?
I'm glad you didn't say Moscow.
16
That's
か
not a gun,
17
technically.
くらいか。
guys. You know, he's the Filipino sniper. He needs a gun. Layla. Or Leslie.
若すぎるな。
Yep, yep. Just let him dream about it. I mean,
Hey,
no,
若すぎるな。
International, they're not a team that will be
17かな。
shy about that. Like, we've seen them pick up the Mia
Yeah,
before.
yeah. Again, not a gun. But
Yes.
this is an interesting conversation I had
若っ。
with Exxon, also Blacklist International, during our downtime in the hotel, right? It was
16か。
one late night and we just bumped into each other.
うん
And we were
そこら辺
talking
か。
the metagame.
若すぎ
The
る。
metagame. Exxon, he's gone around the world, won international championships, multi-time MPL
若いプレイヤーっ
And you know what I
て
asked when I, you know what he said
アサ
when
シ
I
ン
asked,
系のキャラ
what's the
使う
next
よ
big
な。
hero, Exxon? What's the next big hero? He said Moscow.
若い
Moscow has
プレイ
been
ヤーのさ、
updated
トップ
and
プレイヤー。
patched and buffed for so long now. He has mobility, he has global
結構アサ
presence,
シン
and
系
you're
なイ
wondering,
メージある。
how come he's not there yet?
Yeah, and he's one of the top Moscow players.
シナさんたちは何をバーンするんですか。い
Yeah,
や
it's-
ー、ファーサ取り上げるか、ファーサを取りたいなとは。あ、違うわ、どっちもやって。ファーサバーンするか、ファーサ取るか、S1 で、次が先行なんで。さっきからファーサが目立ちすぎてるから。
Yep. It's not a gun. It's not a gun.
It's not a gun.
Big shoutouts to Essen though. It makes me think he's the only, if I'm not mistaken, only 3-time MPL champion. Think about it.
In Philippine history.
In Philippine history.
Maybe even the world at this point.
Actually.
LJ.
LJ though,
Also-
is a 4, above 4.
Lemon.
Yeah.
How
that's right,
perfect
that's
is that LJ and Eson are like
オフェブ 34。
right. Right now, yeah.
34は
Stick to this
行
point
き
right
過ぎ
now.
なんじゃない
Philippines
さすが
and
に。
Blacklist 1 minute away from the draft.
え、でもまだわかんそうじゃないこっから見ると
Every。time
ま
I see
だ
that。file, I get nervous myself because they are prepared. Look at how
でもなん
many
か
pages. It's a thick
Yeah,
book.
20
no.
I-
This is
か20いかないくらいの年してそうだけど。
collected by all of them. It's not only Bonchan who has hands on it, but also
Speaking about
Kobe Venus.
roamers.
Oh, look,
比率が
favorite
高そうですよ
players.
ね
How about it?
カイリ
Favorite
個人
players.
の。
Hey, favorite players. We got
Lance,
Albert and
Lance じゃない。
Chaknu, Chak
Assassin
Mamba
とか。
himself.
And
Hey.
Albert as well from
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of Alberts. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
There's
a lot of Alberts.
There's 2 baby alien lovers here.
All right. Oh, Albert. I mean,
Still the fan favorite.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
一撃が、そう、一撃が痛い。イスン
would have
イ
really
スン
liked to see,
いい感じに育ってたのに、あのファーストの一撃か二撃で、全て壊されてるさっきか
Hey,
ら。
let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
You're giving me flashbacks, man.
Yeah.
ヴィーナスは27。え、そうなんですかヴィーナス結構いってます
We're still
ね。
here in the grand finals,
でも
and we're
知識
40
豊
seconds
富、
away
知識と
from
経験豊富だから、
draft. We're about to see if
やっぱ知識と経験でかいよ
circles
な。
back and considers that maybe it's that Uranus, maybe it's that Farsa. There's so many
若い
heroes out
人
here
らは
that have a crosshair
PS
on
が
their
怖く
backs.
て、
Literally highlights around them
The thing
when you're
is-
looking at them through the
ちょっと
draft.
年
The thing is,
いっ
usually
てる
when you
人は
see people
経
that are
験
just good
と
on the beat tricks at the Clint, you're gonna be bad at other heroes.
知識が豊富だから
No, he's good on the Alice, on the Herald. We've seen him perform on every single hero.
そこでかいよ。
That's the thing right now. What at this point for Onyx? What do you
緊張
do
とか
against
も
Blacklist draft? What do you need to
そこま
ban?
でせんやろうし、
They've
オーマ
tried
イリーナスと
everything.
か。
They tried the two same bans for both of the teams. I think that they will change the bans if they do change the sides, but which we are not really sure of.
モバゼンが
Yeah, we're about to
20
see.
歳、
I think for Onyx PH,
モバゼン20歳が今
surely
大会
they
に。
should.
そう、
they
モ
are
バ
not
ゼン
considering, like,
20 に
banning
見えない
other
ですよね。
opponents
自分見たとき、概要欄見たら
Unfortunately,
19って書いてあったんで、え、19なんガチって思いました。
It's going to be surely
あ、バン
August
見
for
ま
Onyx
す。
PH. Unless, of course, they change it up. But then again, you don't really want to give the Aldous to Blacklist International.
Really? Let's see right now because remember yesterday when Wise
バン。カイリがバンアイランドってってんのが見えるのじわる。いや、バン同じな人、セリナかな、また。おお、全くバン同じやん、3試合。
Onyx PH, they've lost 2 games in a row. Don't you think it's time to switch it up in the draft, the bans?
Well, they do change sides, so maybe they can first pick the Farsa this time.
Yes.
おお、やっぱまあでもそうなるよな。もうこれしかないよな、この3戦目は。やる全兄貴と下でさすがの MK レオ同じような人がいるんですか
？Really not that good.
Yeah, might be the Farsa. I'm sorry, might be the Rafaela using Shin or Rafaela Clint, Rafaela Beatrix.
マチビアかこれ。
Beatrix, let's see if the Rafaela comes true. Let's
Rafa.
see, it is going to be Rafaela and
Rafa Bia.
Beatrix. Thank you. Onyx Philippines now with.
ラファビア強いんよな。
Exactly. I was really shocked about their exchange, but
でもあれか、多分オヘブが使いそうやな。
お、
緑竜、
Let's go.
ローム竜、
from Dilarsky.
네,
He
Uranus
himself have pioneered that play style from this Uranus, but Edward change it up. Now this time for Onyx PH, Uranus and Farsa combo.
なんかちょっとジャングラー多分もう先に取らん方がいいな。なんか多分4号で取らんとなるべくもう最後に取り出そう。これはカウンターピックがしんどそう。さっきから1戦目はイスン取られてたのか。でもイスンのやつはちょっとしんどそうやった。バラツ
The Drion's Farsa when they met in the lower brackets. Now, will it be the Kagura pickup for Blacklist? No, they are going to go for the Barats first.
Yep.
ジャングルバラこれでイスンちょっと取りづらくなったけどけどイスンは取れる。ああ、オヘブアリスね。確かに出てきそう、オヘブアリス。
knowing full well that Blacklist International utilizes his heroes very good.
There's something here on the side of Onyx that's blue now that changed. They're keeping the Beloisi hero in check. So maybe they'll save it. I mean, obviously it has to
これでオニックフィリピン勝てたらめちゃくちゃ熱いな。
They're changing the pace already.
Oh.
It's a huge change. So I'm guessing this might be the road to recovery.
Yep, road to recovery. Let's see. And this means that there will be a lot of open heroes for Kyrie after the fact that both Ling and Hayabusa has been banned out. They still have the Pakiro open, although it's not great versus the Barats.
ベルスか。ああ、なるほどね。なんかちょっと使っとった気がするわ。確かにちょっとバラッツとか。
Look at this. Valor, Selena, and Natalia. 3 bans towards Beloisi. They're literally forcing Beloisi to play.
こうなるとブラックリストのファースト対策。そうだよね。どうなるんやろ。そうです。ここでもうブラックリストじゃないわ。オニックフィリピン勝たんと。次ブラックリスト先行だからしんどくなりそう。これ一回取らんと。
That is absolutely true. And the Beatrix in the mid lane it's still pretty decent against this Farsa.
It's good, but we haven't seen Haji play it before.
That's right. Well, I think we did. I think we might have did.
In M3 we haven't seen it, right? So that kind of says that maybe they're not too comfortable playing that Beatrix, right?
And again, at this point, Grand Finals, the teams are here. Blacklist
ニュート
This is a team that
ちょっと見えてる。ニュート取ろうとしてない。ニュート取りました。明治火力。ミドビア多いな。
How do you answer now if you're Onyx PH? Do you take this Brody or the Clint? or you just let the Farsa stay in the mid lane, get
この舞台でのバンペクシナさんは経験ありますが、内心どんな感じでした10番は正直もう楽しいのがすごい多かった。なんか今はヒーロープール広くなったけど、あの時ジャングラー始めたてだったし、ヒーロープールもそこまで広くなかったから、ちょっとしんどかった。自分のヒーロープールにしてもさ。ただ10番はめちゃくちゃ楽しかった。ドラフトがすごい楽しい。10番やったことある人ならマジでやってる。
They haven't played this at all. This is insane. Finally bringing it up the Lolita. And look, they're going.
俺がジャングラー始めたのって M2 行くことになって、ジャングラーが行ける人いなかったので、その時にで自分がジャングラーをやったけどダメで、ただそれがすごい個人的にはなんかモバイルのモチベにつながる大きなきっかけにはなった。
It's gonna be a mountain to climb. It's only just 2 more wins for Blacklist International, but for Onyx PH, they have to start with 0.
Well, let's see right now. The coach
M2 のあの試合以来、大会で緊張することがあんまりなくなった気がする。てか、しないかも。
One thing I'm scared of is Onyx PH, they usually just really like to play on with those winning lanes. Now, with this draft, you can kind of say that they're winning lane.
いや、心のどこかではさすがにしてるかもしれないけど、でも気持ちは全然なんか楽しんどる。モバレを多分。でも最近大会がないからちょっと今月末の大会どうなるかわからん。でも経験はやっぱでかいなって思った。いや、これビア痛い。いや、これでフラッシュ沸かされるん。ラファビアマジで強すぎるわ。あ、数敗で死な。
barely gets it. Marky with the wings by wings, scaring him to death, almost to death.
Oh, look at the Barats. I think he's gonna make a move on to Farsa.
これいやらしいお前ビナスね、さっきから。これどっち取ったんだ。3と落ちた方。お、ファーサやったけど、待って、やばい、嘘でしょ。カイリー、嘘でしょ。バラッツ。マジか。共演ずるすぎる。てか回復、オーマイビーナスの回復が若干今大きかったな。共演と回復が。いや、マジか。
makes it so that just 1 kill for Weiss will proc the killing spree and eventually will win the 2v1.
Not to mention the holy healing. So yeah, perfectly put. It's a mini ultimate bonding experience, but it was so clutch. 1,000 gold ahead already. Blacks International not even starting up this turtle.
5レベル。5レベル。早っ。スタートで。これエース目の粘着来るような、多分。違うんかな。お、いけんじゃない？頑張れ、カイリ。ナイス。あ、やばい。お、欲しきれ。あー、欲しい、さっきから。いやー、あとちょっとなのに。いやー、マジか。
They get the turtle surely, but then again,
シールド吸われるの痛いな、タートルとっても。
S 名。Spot once again where they were clumped out together, and with the AOE from Blacklist International is just way too good of a damage. And the fact that they also had to use Marky into the mid lane.
おお、うわー、ラファのウルトが、いやー、マジか。
On that Ionic Edge, spots out the Queen. He's not done. He's gonna try to take down this Rafaela. Holy healing. Detna's welcome. Dilarski purifies.
うまい。お前ビラスそれは。
Yeah.
お
They had to use the Barca into the mid lane, which kind of left them free with at least 2 lanes.
おお、ナイス。いいよ。ビリーいいよ。
Look at that face Marky with the smirk right there. He's so happy about that. But
オーマイ
again,
ビーナス
Blacklist
立ち位置が
International
す
now
ご
early
い
on already pushing
や
into
ら
the
しい。
base. This is not gonna be good. Wait a minute.
Oh, that's gonna be a fight here in the purple buff. A punish onto the attempted
いやでもこれいいんじゃない？
Wow, again,
イスンとファーサーが多分ゴールドタワー殴れてるから結構美味しいんじゃないこれは。
So far, Wise has been winning all of them.
多分次
with the help of Oh My Venus,
ハトル
not leaving this. This is again Rafaela and
リ
Barrett's
スンが下するん
combination.
かな。
And on Blacklist International are really the big proponents of this, and they have mastered it so well.
Well, let's see right now. Blacklist International going in with the winning lanes, able to get so much
次の
done
タートル
on the
戦
map.
は
Again, this is
ファ
one
ー
of
サーいるか
the
ら
critical elements that made
結
Onyx
構
PH such a force in that upper
いい感じ
brackets.
に
The winning
なるん
lanes
じゃ
that
な
are
い？
able to set up for the turtle, for that neutral objectives, the banana split. Remember, and now Blacklist with their own winning lanes and their winning jungler. It's so hard for Onyx Philippines to just crack open and just play their game. The banana split hasn't been a thing since game 2.
Yep, in a vacuum, yes, Onyx is winning the lanes 1v1. Dilarski dictating the pace. I mean, kicking Edward out of his lane.
いやーバラッツ取りそう。捨ててるな。捨ててエスメの年に行ってる。エスメ戦で落ちて。あ、やれるんじゃない？いけ。あーナイスナイスナイス。あ、阻害できた阻害できた。これエスメ溶かせるやんこれで。
Yeah, again, Onyx Philippines, this is what they need to do. They need to start to play their own game, play their game. Oh no!
Baloyski taking down the shield was not enough to protect.
これイセン
tenacity. Haji and Matrix.
イセンじゃない。エスメがドミナント積んだからエスメめっちゃ落としやすくなった。
Literally over this Lolita, and Lolita cannot stop the damage output coming out from Wise, and they're just using this Barats with the turtle buff.
バラッツ痛そうちょっ
And
と。
look at how much chunk,
ナイス
or
OK。
big of a chunk of damage he deals against all of these heroes.
あ、戦であるの
It's the
か。
strength of a jungle Barats, and with the Rafaela to help him out with more movement speed, and then eventually the War Axe rocking, it just makes so much place for the team. And eventually, we just talked about it, 2 sentences, and eventually Blacklist gets a push up the bottom lane.
You're right, Marky has to be present. If not, they'll just suffer the same consequences. Wise trampling over them with this Barat, so they have to perfectly time these team fights. I'm guessing Kyrie has to be on point every time.
Yeah, finally now it's actually a switch, right? Usually we see Onyx PH the ones with the early lead. Oh my goodness, picking up another kill on the board, and they're looking for more here. Onyx Philippines on the other map, on the other side. I mean,
that's it. Haji goes for the rage, and there's a way of the dragon, but they just served him. Edward pushing them back. Baloyski with the Luminon Blast. Trapped between 3 members. They're gonna try to get this kill, and there's the rage.
いい軽くいけ。帰り。あーやばい。
Haji goes down.
エスメが。
Edward, and they're just pushing in. So many turrets going down. Top, bottom, mid. Only gonna be stopped by Marky. Wings by wings away. Here comes All My Venus and Edward biting down. Marky's gonna survive this one. Mountain Shocker. All My Venus catches a few. But
やばいな。でもタートル。バラッツウルズ落ちた。あ、でもニュートが。
When Blacklist International makes a play on the opposite side of the map, there is Ohib just taking turrets, and now they are farmed a 4,000 gold lead for Blacklist International.
2 levels right now for Wise on top of Kyrie.
お、うまい。
Way of the Dragon by nature, that's all. Catches the Space Time Walker.
いいよ。そのまま間に合えタートル。ナイスナイスナイス。あーやばいやばい。エスメが。エスメが。あー。エスメがうざすぎるこれ。お、いいよ。いい軽くいい軽くいけ。あーあーあー。
glancing to safety, and Wise looking to punish. He's gonna down onto this Uranus and Edward and Haji.
やばいあ、危ないナイスナイスナイス
From Haji, and there's
おやすみ
a
入ってきたあ、洗礼落ちた洗礼落ちた
Hatred looking for a target.
蹴れるんじゃない
Up wide.
うわーマジか
Welcome and the way.
やばい
He still eats him up.
いい船いい船ナイスナイスナイス
Venus goes
いけいけいけいけ
What a re-engage and
でかいでかいでかいでかい
initiation by Onyx resulting in a 2 for none.
What the heck is happening now? Both of the teams going turn after turn again.
ファーさんいいシューってかシューうまいシューがうまい
Yeah, I think this is where we
Okay.
are going to see where that double stun came from. But Yella have to give it to Hatred, that catching Wise off and then delaying this way of the Dragon for a little bit so that they can catch up. Eventually, there's the stun. It came from both Baloyski as well as Marky. And then eventually, they just took 2 heroes, cutting down the deficit to just 800 and getting the mid lane turret as well. Bottom lane push, Onyx Page have recovered. And it was off of them just trying to win the fights, the extended fights now. Blacklist International lost.
Marky was the MVP in that fight, man. You see the positioning of that man going over the wall from the orange buff, actually. Not getting caught in the
ウラノス
choke
ド
point
ミナ
that
ント
Blacklist International
ネックレス2個だけで頑張ってんの
set
か
up.
初手ドミナントしたんか
But now, Blacklist 4,000
なるほ
gold
ど
lead
ね
already down to a
初手ドミナントで
700. Can look for some fights, can
オラ
look
クル
for
でシールド
that
と
Yep, they closed the gap, and after
CD
2 games, they finally figured out this fluid type of team play. This
多分エステメが
frontliner, light
ウラノスと殴り合うことがないから
but actually, they had to invest in a Lolita and a Uranus
オラクル
to
で
get it.
も
But
多分
again,
大丈
third
夫
time's
なん
the
や
charm. They might turn to
エステメ
around
ずっ
9
とイスン
minutes,
とかパーさんに
30
粘着してるから
seconds in.
ウラノスと殴り合うことは
Retains
な
their
さそ
gold
う
lead, keeping it at about 1,000, keeping that gap open. What's next here? Who do they
あ
target?
食われるん
I'm
じゃ
not
ない
talking about
大丈
Blacks
夫
International
か
because it looks like it's gonna be Baloyski. Detner's welcome into that Lolita. Is
あ
this a fight?
シールドで防いだ
No minute,
ナイス
the big dino. Kyrie takes him down.
バラツのウルトシールド
Very nice pick off
シールド
on the
で
side of Onyx Page. This is
防いでる
exactly
ロイン
where
が
they find. Oh!
おいいかれかナイスナイスナイスナイスナイスナイスいけいけいけ
Beatrix.
Oh my god, Marky! This
マーキーうますぎる
town.
マジでナイス
Gonna look for the Lord, but yes, what I wanted to mention is this is where they're most comfortable, right? Onyx PH with the lead and going banana split. Larsky on the Uranus just being such a nuisance, distracting every single member. And look, objectives coming in their way. This is the Onyx PH I expected to see in game 1.
Hatred finds one with the feathered airstrike response by Marky, zoning away Blacklist International. And now, with that one win, I mean, they did get a Lord here. They're backed on the lead. Onyx PH about 2K.
You know how they found the kill onto Wise? Wise was quite deep, yeah, but sure. But Onyx PH normally will not take the fight because that's a Bats anyways. Hatred actually spotted out both Ohev as well as Oh My Venus, and he actually wasn't found by both Ohev and Oh My Venus. That little opening, that little information that Onyx PH was able to get and read onto Blacklist International allowed them to make a play against this Wise Barrett, and then eventually the fight.
And that's exactly how Onyx should be playing, right? Answering heroes on a multiple level skill.
うわいい火力出とるいいよいいよいいよ追いかけろ追いかけろあーいいいいそれでもやばいやばい待って待って待ってやばいやっとるやりすぎやりすぎあーオッケーオッケーオッケーオッケー
Marky.
ナイスナイスナイ
The
ス
damage from Marky, that's just Marky.
いいやついいやつ
Damage. He's playing. He doesn't play like a Forza. He's playing like a brawler, a fighter. He's going in 1v5.
これで相手のラインがちょっと下がったから
Ability tool
セカンドも余裕で狙いに行けそう
Oh, uses that purify to protect himself. They're gonna go ahead and take
Yo.
down a turret in mid. Now gonna be the inhibitor in mid
Ah,
as
ビアツ
well.
あでも
So that's tier
あ
2. And
早い
all
処理が
tier 3s. They're all inside the base
ウラノ
now.
ス大丈夫
Velocity
か
catches quite a
あ
bit.
ロインかそ
Might
れ
have been too much flicker already used up. Holy healing by Oh My Venus.
やばい食われる
Welcome.
あ
Larsky
ん
purified.
コールなんや今の
Just staying alive. It's a cancelled engage by Blacklist International, and it's enough. Marky is just so ahead here, even sitting at 3-1-5. He's playing like he's 6-0-3.
Gonna have to give it to Baloyski though. He's very brave against Blacklist International. He's already at 4 deaths. Has to be very careful actually. But I think he knows his limits. Does have the Athena shield now on top of the grass.
Finds one way the dragon.
おーうまい
The perfect
え
assassination.
オーシャンめっちゃいい火力出てたナイスナイスナイスナイス
One traded out though. I mean, worth it if you're gonna be taken down.
やばい、ファースト落とされる。いけ、帰り。帰り。あー、惜しい。あー、そう。いや、ファーストいれば、この後続きそうなのに。惜しい。
They want to make it just very organized, play with the ultimate bonding experience, and honestly, that is why is that so surprising to us? Because we've seen more tank shows, more like semi-tank shows in this tournament. Finally seeing someone with high that much damage.
竜がいい仕事しとる、さっきから。
That's something that's so unnatural to us, to our eyes right now.
And I would really have to give it to Hatred. He probably have played it so much. He knows exactly how much damage he's able to get.
いや、ちょっとバラッツしんどくなってきたんじゃないこれ。ニュートが火力めっちゃ出しづらそうにしとる、さっきから。ファーサのせいで。え、これ、決まったりせん？大丈夫？いいよ、いいウルト、おうまい、いけいいよ、ナイスで、帰り、よけていいよ、バラ釣るとないけど、やばい、痛い、やばい、あーやばい、バーサ死ぬいや、でもウラノスが上をしてるからいや、もう全然 OK じゃない全然 OK やろ。OK。いけウラノス。ネチネチウラノスいったれ。いいぞ。あ、やばい。蹴りはおお、うまい。ナイス。ミスキナイス。やばい、追いかけられてる。うまい。よけろ。ああ、いや、どうばい。でもこれ、イスン来てる。ね、投げるけど。おお、いい火力。ああ、なんだ、落ちた。やばい。反撃が来る。
Okay, they disperse.
Finally. But then again, I think this is an opening for Blacklist International to actually take the Lord. They know that the Federers.
やばい、ロード触りに行った相手。
So that is really the call here, but
ちょっと速そう、ロード。いやー、しかも裏の上に今映ってたから、これもう取り切りいくな。早すぎるな。
The way they chain these events together is just so unnatural, so well done by Blacklist International. But now it's time to take a look, deep dive at the items. Now we finally know why Hatred's doing that much. The Blade of Heptases and the BOD. This is a full damage show. But that last item, he was building a little bit defensively now. Boloyski finishing up that dominance ice as well. At this point, we're talking about the late game.
ロードのタイミングがうまかった。やばい、落ちる。やばい、バラッツが嘘でしょ。あー、いやでも帰らせなければ。いや、SM が入ってきちゃってる。下押される。あ、ロード来てんのか。いや、最悪や。
Wait a minute. Boloyski, he's not going for the Lord, he's going for a fight.
Yeah, because Kyrie made the call and Haji answers back with a Nibiru's passion.
いや、まだロードは勝っとるけど、ロードは勝っとるけどじゃない。タワーは勝ってるけど、多分ブラックリストの方がちょっと有利かな。多分ロードの反対側が折れてるから、ロードの反対が折れてるから、自然とプッシュウェーブになるから、ちょっとしんどいな。ウラノスか誰かいかんという意見になるから。
His contribution to team fights is still very good. The wave clear is still there. The damage, the burst is there. But then again, it's already being answered by Blacklist International.
Let's see right now, Blacklist International going in and zoning away the members from
頑張れ頑張れ。
the should take the
ちょっと
turrets
ニュート
down.
が痛いな、さっきから。
Boloyski, he's there, but you know he's just tanking up damage. He's
シ
just
ステム
trying
ちょっ
to
と
be
火力、
aggressive with damage. He's
痛
just
そう。
simply
スナイパー当たってるやん。
from the side of Blacklist. Look at how they're able to control
ちょっ
the
と
map.
ファーサーの火力が
Two ways
ちょ
for
っと
the
目
fight
立たな
of
くなってきた
on
な。
that bottom side.
バルキリー積まれてんのかな、ニュートに。
Despite the rocky and turbulent past couple of team fights, he still knows his job. And right now, he put his foot on the clutch, changed gears, and then says,
いや、これ粘着されるんじゃないエスメに。
Hatred, he's changed from being
いいよ、ファーサがカバーいっとる。
a split pusher, and
い
he's
け
trying
り。
to find this free kill onto Edward. It's 3v1, no 4v1, but here comes the rest of Blacklist. They're gonna go ahead and
え、
collapse.
待って、やばい。
Look at the switch up. It's
鳥がないんや。
Mark
鳥で攻めてきたから鳥がない。
and that's one down for the side of Onyx PH. 4
いや、マ
defenders
ジか。
versus 5. They're looking to siege. They're looking to get more inhibitors.
Oh man, you gotta have to be amazed how Blacklist International is just baiting Onyx PH so many times. Hatred wants to go for a
やばい、これ。
onto Haji
サード行かれそう。
Is he gonna get it? Is he actually looking to get it?
Hatred.
おー、ビアトリいやらしいってそれ。ビアトリいやらしいってやめろ。
They are gonna take this inhibitor
え、
yet
終わらんか。
again.
お、ナイスナイスですね、キル。で、あー、そっちにはいかんのか。
No, 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 no.
Patience from Hatred.
まっすぐ帰ってった。
They feel like they don't have enough damage, and honestly,
やばいな、2本折れちゃった。
Marquee was taken down. Without Marquee, it's only Kyrie that can
竜が
go and deal damage. But if you look at the composition,
ワンチャン蹴って
do you really want that Eason Shin to dash forward? Exactly. It's not
ニュート
going
と
to be an
かを
option whatsoever. So
そ
very,
れを
very
殺せれば
good patient
めっちゃ
play
変わり
coming
そうだ
in.
けど。
Even though it might have
多分
looked
ニュー
like
ト
a
だろう
good
な、さっき
play
からうざいの
in。the grander,
こいつの火力が悪いわ。
it's just not gonna work, honestly.
You have to be careful if you're Onyx.
Oh, wait. Dennis, welcome. Purified here. Let go. Answer back by Marquee.
お、
Feathered airstrike.
ラッパーが落ちて。あ、でもやばい、一緒に死ぬ。
Immortality.
お、
Kyrie taken down by
いけいけいけいけいけい
one.
けいけいけいけいけいけ
With the
いけ。
nuclear blast.
あー、ナイス。
The flame shot.
やばい、そいつじゃないって一突き入んの。あー、最悪。そいつじゃない。うわ、マジか。そいつじゃないんよ。いや、でもウラノスがいい前張りしてる。耐えろ耐えろ。
You gotta remember that it was the jungler traded for Venus, alright? Venus is only a roamer in this game. He's only died 2 times.
あ、でもいいよ。いいプッシュしとる。エスメが戻って。ウラノスがいい耐え。いい耐え、いい耐え、いい耐え。で、ファーサが一発お見舞いしたれ。ウルト。取れるか。あー、取れない。いや、でも落とせんじゃない。1枚いくんかな。いかんか。
Haji and Oheb as well. Nice jump in by Edward. Not gonna find any contact. Just like that, Blacklist scores a lord and is back doing damage control on the map.
5-5の当たりし。
So at least Onyx has done good on
ブラッ
that
クリスト
front.
の方が。
4,000 gold lead from Blacklist.
いや、でもロインのウルト決まればあるか。 イスンがちょっとしんどそうだな、さっきから。
This is most probably going to be the final fight either way.
これ間も、まあ、ファーサ1回ウルト落として、いやー、イスンがめっちゃ火力出しづらそう。いや、これエスメがうざいな、さっきから。これロインのウルト見えちゃうからな。フラッシュ枠よロイン。あとでもロイン3秒だ、フラッシュ。いや、やばいやばいやばいやばいやばい。ガチで頼む。やめてやめてやめてやめて。いいよいいよ。あー、惜しい。蹴れんかった。あー、うっそ
だ。
Oh my goodness, and the punish was there. Blacklist International, they started this game strong. They're the lineup with the better scaling.
Yeah,
but with 2 kills onto Wise, it allowed them to just control the lanes. By God, Onyx PH actually were able to recover, making this game very interesting. But unfortunately, just the raw damage and scaling from both the Nate and the Beatrix.
Yeah,
and now they're at match point.
They did enough in that last team fight to move up the waves, to make sure that Marquee was overloaded when it comes to his responsibility.
ブラックリスト強すぎるってなんか。
Good choice for wave clear, and eventually
やばいな。
could have been close. Could have been one more defense, especially after that 3-man Numenon blast.
It's gonna be really hard again because, like you said, Wave clear. Wave clear is number 1 and the
ちょっとジャングラーの相性悪そう。カイリーがアサシンと、カイリーがアサシンと、 あと
We're at the cusp of
イスン
another
しか
champion being
使ってこ
crowned.
ないから基
Before
本
that, let's go through over to our analysts. Let's look back at game number 3. Gideon Q
ワイ
and
ズが
Lafel.
バラッツとか使ってくるからちょっと相性悪そう。
Thanks, Leo. As you throw, we catch here at the analyst stand, and now Blacklist International at match point. So let's break it down how they got to this point, because overall, the draft seemingly as on brand for both teams.
Yeah, honestly, this is one of those games where the draft is good, but we really have to look at what happened in game. And on in Philippines, it looks like they're starting to misjudge a lot of things. In the earliest stages of the game, they didn't understand the power spike that Ibarra has, giving him over 2 free kills. Kyrie died 2 times.
いやでも絶対にジャングラー差じゃないんよな。絶対あの EXP レーナーがうざすぎる。帰りに粘着してる EXP レーナー、あいつが一番悪いよマジで。うますぎる。エドワードだっけ。ロードを無理やり取ってから一気に変わりましたね、あそこから。ブラックリスト前張りがむずいよね。確かにファーサもイスもずっと粘着されてるからめっちゃしんどそうですね。いやもう帰りいいところに落ち込むわ。絶対エスメの粘着きついよな。バトル取れてんのにあいつのシールドを吸収するのマジでずるすぎる。エドワードがうますぎるわ。いやマジで最初ファーストはめっちゃ良かったのにクソ火力出てて。
has that win of nature, he became very hesitant to really go to the back line.
It came down to just sheer execution here, which is the scariest part, because even for Blacklist International, if they misexecuted, as we saw some of the fights, that's when OnX was able to turn it around. A big catalyst for
いやエスメだよな絶対この試合。エスメだよ。
That's when he makes a big play. But once we saw the adaptation from
エスメがマジで生えたよ。生えたっていうかうまかった前張りが。
Yeah, and speaking of that, on in Philippines, they have a lot of tools to
今回のエスメ解けんかったしな。
The way that they play is, like our casters say, it's very messy. It's all over the place. Keeping track of every single thing is so difficult. And looking at this right now is actually benefiting for the side of Blacklist, because the heroes that they have, they can kind of take care of themselves. Even though Blacklist, they like to play together. But Oheb and Nathan, yeah, just chase after me. I'm gonna entropy out. I have Flicker. The Barasi can take a lot of damage. And whoever is
いやー序盤なんかキャラってよりはもうなんか集団ブラックリストの戦い方がすごくうますぎる。ブラックリストの戦い方がうますぎてあとちょっとなのにフィリピンすごいな。1位と2位なのに差がすごく感じるわ。なんか
taking down towers after an initial mistake in the early game. And most importantly, when you look at the damage, it really is in Blacklist's favor due to these big team fights.
Yeah, and again, look at how many damage coming in from everyone from the side of On in Philippines. It's different. The main damage dealers is Marky as well as Kyrie. Both of these heroes are the only ones that really went above 50,000. The last 50,000, which is great, but it's nowhere enough to take down anyone from the side of Blacklist International. Edward 96, Oheb 75, Haji 74, Wise 94.
エスメ一番火力出てるの一番意味わかんない。リュートとかそこら辺じゃなくてエスメが一番火力出てるの意味がわからん。
There's a lot of mechanisms to really help them survive.
Yeah, I feel like OnXPH at this point are feeling the nerves coming in against Blacklist International. They're losing that momentum, and Blacklist is just playing off of the hype after each and every one of those games. Even recently, OnX was able to tweet out, "Hey, we need to reset."
いや BTK マジでここによく勝ったなって思う。俺も
OnXPH this time, it's not going to help them that much, especially as they move into the next game. But Blacklist International.
いやもうエドワードよこの試合はガチで。この試合はもう エドワードのせいだよ。
Really knows his matchups.
最悪
Our
だよ。
MVP of game number 3.
Yeah, and again, Edward just have a unique kind of
Eduardo.
playstyle where he opens up the map so wide for side of Blacklist that it makes it very, very easy for their core damage dealers to really come out and really judge where their position should really be, because we saw in the previous 2 games, the Farsa is a big problem dealing damage directly to the backside, directly to the core damage dealers. But in this game, Edward just controlled it so well that they're not really that pressured so much.
You can feel how they're comfortable. They don't necessarily have to immediately use their spells. A lot of the times when it comes down to punishing hatred, in a matter of fact, comes down to Wise just holding on to that Daytona's Welcome and delaying it on purpose to wait to catch him off the Shinpo. There just isn't enough pressure coming out of Onyx, and I think at this point, they are starting to feel just the weight of Blacklist International and the momentum they are gaining consistently throughout each and every one of those wins.
Yeah, and again, really have to give a big shout out to Edward again, MVP, really making the game so much more easier for his own team, where right now they're playing at easy mode. And the thing is, Onyx Philippines, it's not that they're playing so bad, they're actually playing very, very well. It's just that Edward gives a very unfair advantage in terms of map control.
I feel like that's the name of the game here. Once you have control of the map, then they have control of their destiny here. The question is, where does your allegiance lie here today? Are you supporting Onyx Philippines? Because they are going to need your support right now. And to do that, you can actually get the M3 battle emotes here. We prepared exclusive battle emotes for all 16 teams, and each battle emote has its own voiceover. So get them now and support your favorite teams, whether it be Blacklist International, whether it be Onyx PH. They are going to need every little bit if they want to turn things around.
Yeah, right now, honestly, this is match point. There is this might be a situation where it will be a clean 4-0. And by the way, before we throw to the host, and everyone, we're gonna do a survey. We want to know how you guys entry.
Yep, you'll see the QR code
こっから
on the top left of your screen. So when you do see that, do give us
ま
that
ず
feedback. What can we do
オ
to
ニックフィリピ
improve?
ン
How
が
are you
ワンゲーム
liking the
と
tournament so
取り
far?
返して
Scan that QR
そこからブラックリストが崩れ
code
て
now. But that being
そのままストレート
said,
勝ち
number 4 is gonna be on its way, and it's gonna be a big one. This could be a complete washout here.
あるよ
Blacklist
こっ
International
から
might be able to get that big
こっ
win
か
that
ら
they've been looking for all year.
まだ返せるまだ4ゲーム勝てばいいからまだ4ゲーム勝てばいい
Casters, please take it away.
4ゲーム勝てばいいガチで頼む
One more game. Holding out
今
for
手首やらかした
one more game. Blacklist International
ブラックリスト
comes
大会が
home with
始まっ
the
た時より
trophy.
強くなってないで
Holding
す
out
か
for one more game.
なんかめっちゃ
opening up
仕上がってますね
possibility for a reverse sweep. That's Onyx PH. Welcome back.
なんか
The casters
グループステージはちょっと競うところがいなく
I
て
can only imagine the nerve.
でプレーオフは BTK に負けて
How Onyx PH must be
で
feeling
そこから
right
多
now
分
because
強いとこと当たり続けてなんか仕上がって戻ってきたみたいな仕上げて戻ってきましたファンすごいわブラックリストって本来こんな感じなんじゃないかな戦力だから MPL フィリピンも結構ブラックリスト一強感あった気がするストレート負けだけは避けたいいや間違いないもう本当に 2,3 戦でもいいから勝ってほしい一緒でストレート負けは苦しいよ悲しいしだって去年のバーミューズバーミューズバーなんちゃらあれなんだっけ BG バーミンズグールあれなんだっけチーム名ど忘れした BG とか BG 対ブレンとかめっちゃいい試合してたのにさギリギリの今回ストレートで終わるのは悲しすぎるオニックフィリピンが一番悔しいだろうなこんなストレート負けしたら
Hey. We're talking about history too. Lower bracket meta. Hey.
It always has been 7 games.
フラノスが同じとこだったらビアとニュートンに溶かされるし、バラッツには強いとか選んだし。いや、そうですね。フラノスが同じことしても結局溶かされるんやな。ブルーミースグール。あ、オッケーオッケー。ありがとうございます。アンジェラの人応援してあげてよ、ニック・フィリピン。え、かわいいあのストラップ。
Yep, and you guys can also have you can also have your say. You can have your decisions matter here because we're asking you guys how you feel about M3 so far. Again, hello to Angela and Fanny. If you're loving the show, let us know. Scan that QR code up on your screen right now to access the M3 survey. Tell us what you think and how else
なんかブラックリスト、でもやっぱおニック・フィリピン戦いやすいのはあるんじゃないかな。なんか構成結構わかりやすいよな。
I think yes. I think it's more about their decision making for sure. In the draft,
M1 も7本目までやってます。どうでしたっけか。でも結構ストレート負け、ストレートで終わってはないよね。M1 も M2 も。めっちゃいい盛り上がり方してる。アンジェラの隣の誰？アンジェラの隣あれ誰なんだろう？全然俺もわかんない。
Really?
M2, that's right.
Oh. Okay, so, M1 being an all-Indonesian finals. So again, there's a lot of ways and patterns that history might repeat itself, but just the same, this is a whole nother beast. No. Back to the point again. They have done these adjustments, and I must say, 3 games. That's a very expensive price to pay to learn and calibrate on the go.
I don't know. Like I said, after game 1. I told you what Onyx Philippines could do. After game 2, I said the same thing, but after game 3, they've done everything that I've said that they should do. Invade in the jungle, play more aggressively, pick off these heroes like the Farsa, the Uranus, contested from Blacklist, and so far, none of them has been able to work.
コーチもコーチでしんどいよな。なんか責任感じてそうで。
Blacklist International, they just seem so, I don't know, what's it?
Much love to this couple on screen. Right now, Onyx is running out of time. Like this is the only chance that they can have.
EXP キャラのピック
So
が
happy to see a
いいピ
smile
ック
on
しとる。
Wilfred's face.
Well, it really, I would say gives
でもやっぱああやって見るとイスンエスメ苦手だなって感じるわ。育ってるエスメ。結構エスメ結構タートルの1戦目とか1個目のタートルとか結構無理やり取る場面あるからイスンやるとき取った後に粘着されてもうざいし死ぬから取られる前に粘着されてもうざいからもうしんどい。シールドがないからな。
It's almost inhuman how calm they are and how calculated a lot of their moves are.
I think you're gonna be really calm if you're match point at the World Championship.
イスンが1スキ打って打ったの見てからエスメがウルト打ってきてたから入るかわかんないけど多分エスメがウルト打つまで1スキは多分残した方が良かった気はする。死ぬか死なないかは置いといてギリ死ぬか死なないかくらいだけど
and matured people, right?
娘がターダイブしてきたら死にそうなくらいのだけどでも多分そうしないとワンチャンなかった気がする。景色先生えちゃうともうエスメウルト打つの待ってたからウルト渋ってたからずっとエスメがうまかった。でも多分死ぬ気がするんよな。
I think keeping Onyx PH's hopes high is going to be key. Just make sure that they don't
マスクしてるから全員花火見える。ラスターの人のファニーって言ってました。あ、ファニーか。ファニーのあれなんだっけ何のスキンだっけ名前忘れた。決まりか。なんか BTK に対してはお肉が相性はやっぱありますね。
Okay.
日本も来年枠あるといいですね。
It's so weird. Again, terrifying.
One thing that I think Onyx Page
勝ってほし
wasn't
い。
able to adapt to is the focus on these neutral objectives. Because all 3 games, Onyx Page, they're able to secure the turtle. And I think that the carry is just way too focused on
番は同じか。
the Lord. That sometimes Blacklist International are able
同
to
じでい
just
くん
kill
か。
someone.
もうファーサーだよ
It was
な
evident。in games 1 and 2. In game 3, that's also true. They were so focused in taking the turtles, able to do so, but ended up losing the trade in the process. Because Blacklist International, they know that Onyx
あ
Page
ー
are
マジで
tunnel
同じ
their vision
番。
into that area.
So this is prime example of focusing too
いや
much
でも
on the
戦い方だよな
destination.
絶対。
The journey is a little too turbulent. It's a little too rocky. You end up losing.
ブラックリストにあの左下の3体渡したくないもん絶
The
対。
same approach once more. 3 games in a row and now
なんで
4
今年
games
の
in
わ
a
けない
row. Estes, this Yves,
おい
first picking
今
that
年のわけないんですか。それね今言っちゃいけん
Your
よ。
thoughts on this, Wolf? The same 3 bands.
今それ聞いちゃいけんよ。
Interesting, Rafaela. Oh, this time they go Joe.
To be fair,
なんででしょうね。
hatred was
誰か
quite
の
a
せい。
thorn on their sides. I mean,
誰
like
か
a
の
Lego
せいや
brick
な。
stuck in your shoe. That kind of pain.
Pick Rafaela for the side of Onyx PH. I
う
feel
わ
like that's
マ
the
ジ
case right
か。
now. Beloyski
は
needs
じ
that. Again, one of his comfort heroes here, right? Selena
超
has
来
been
たやん
banned
こ
out.
れ。
Natalia is not going to be the ones coming in the first phase. I think picking up the
Rafa.
Rafaela is going to be good. There you go. You
Oh.
have it, and I think Uranus is going to be a very good pick as well here if you're Onyx PH. Taking it away
でも
from
すごいな
Blacklist.
バン
You
ず
have
っと
the
変わらんの
Rafaela
こ
for
こ
that sustain. You have that range.
4戦
That'll be
全部
the front line.
バン変わらん
And
で
then Blacklist International eventually answers with the Barretts after the Uranus. It's just how
だっ
it
て
goes.
も
And
う
Blacklist International, they
なんか
are
すごい
not
ね
afraid
バン変わらん
to
って
not fix what's not broken, right? So, oh, they snatch it.
Okay.
I like this.
お
This is an interesting turn of events.
え、なに
because
このカイリの顔、ジャングルバラッツすん
take
の
the necessary steps to go ahead of the curve. This might actually
ワンチャンやるん
be
ジャン
good
グ
or
ルバラッ
bad
ツ。
because they might have overthought it. That's also a possibility.
You know, what? Let's see from Onyx PH in their upper
でもこれで
matches, they're
イ
always
スン
very flexible with their picks. They always go for open.
取らないんじゃないかな。え、でもなんか消えそうよな、イスンここで。
Not open-ended at all. Maybe the best is you have the
ピッ
far
クが
side
見えません。
building
あ、
as well as
ごめん
the
なさ
gold
い。
lane. But then again,
俺
this
がや
Barretts,
らかしてた。
it's not played by Kyrie. I don't see Kyrie
No, no, no
as a
way.
player
It's
who will
very un-Kyrie.
use this.
It's-
Un-Kyrie.
I feel
love
like
it.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna be Kyrie. I don't think so. I think this is gonna be a
あ、
big
見えました。
you know,
サイドバラッツです
I really feel like the Lar, but now Blacklist,
見えました
I feel like
サイドバラッツ
I
です
really-
画面
or
に
you-
映ってま
you
し
saw
た今
Esmeralda, right? It really is gonna be between those. No,
team is
Matilda
banning.
gets picked up by
まだ変われ
Blacklist
るからね
International.
ジャングラ
Matilda
ーまだわ
Airlines
からん
for Venus.
I think the fact that Onyx PH exposed a certain lineup or a key part of their play kind of allowed Black to say, okay, let's do this. Baloyski, we know who's playing.
Yeah.
Venus, get on the Matilda. That might be the line of thought here for Bonchan.
And it's gonna be, I would say, easier for Blacklist International to draft against this. Maybe they're gonna be looking for a hero with HP-based damage for Wise. Wonder what their answer is. I mean, they
Shina
have
さん
been
が見え
using
ません
this Barretts for quite a long time. Not
後で
only
出て
with
きま
Wise,
す
but also for Edward.
いや待って終わんの早いって
And I would say, I'm not really sure, but they might be gunning for an Alice, and
Your
Onyx
team
PH
is
should be
banning.
banning that out. Okay, so Blacklist International still, they acknowledge the fact that this could be a jungler Barretts.
That's a lot of respect.
That is a lot of respect. Banning away the Uranus and actually
Your
expecting the
team is
Barretts going
banning.
to the jungle. Again, very un-Kyrie. Blacklist International though, with the ban one more time right now. This is the thing for Onyx PH. They have that far side that can be flexed onto Hatred or Marky in the gold lane. What do they want to go for here? The jungle.
モバが
also
日
very,
本
very
ではそんな
still gray, very gray here. The draft for Onyx PH.
流行ってないからじゃないかな
super gray.
多分
I would say
FPS
for
とか
Onyx,
バトロワとか
they
の方
definitely
が
have to look for a scaling hero apart
人
from
口
this
多
Farsa.
そう
Yes.
Although it is good against the Beatrix
人
as
口多
well
い
as
から
the probable, like,
モバはちょっとな
as well as the,
フィリピンとかインドネシアは
they should not be falling into the pit
子供
using this Farsa as their scaling as their
子供からもう始めてる人が多い
With
か
this huge
ら
young band, Blacklist Internationals are telling us we are gonna be drafting a hero for
日本でいう
OPEM
ポケモンみ
that
たいな
will scale. Maybe on the
子供
on the marksman
や
side.
ってるやんみんな。
Yeah, they're protecting OHEB really.
それの
They are
モ
forcing
ババージ
Delarski
ョ
also
ンな
in
気が
effect
する。
into
フ
this
ィリピン
Barats.
と
They're saying,
か
okay,
インド
if
ネ
that's
シア
not
は。
Delarski, then we're
みんなやっ
closing
と
the
るから
gaps.
な、
Paquito's
モ
still out
バ
there though. That's one
ほ
fair
ぼ。
shake at it.
And I do have to agree with the audience. The only way right now for Onyx Philippines, I feel
ママ
like is
に
to
怒られ
ban
ながら
both
も
entirely. Right?
ネカフェ
At
に
this
行っ
point,
て
he's performing on every single hero. He got 2 MVPs in a row. Lapu
ネカ
as
フェ
well
で
now
モ
banned
バやっ
out
て
for
たら
Onyx PH4 XP laners.
I think you go
Mama
Alex now
ni
from Blacklist International. Maybe not in this pick, but
連れ
maybe
て
the
帰ら
last
れ
pick.
て
And definitely they will use the fact that the OHEB's hero
Alice.
pool is really good.
You,
っていうの
Yeah,
が
no, don't pick Alice
もう
here. Yeah, if Alice were to come out last
見る
pick,
くらい
and
大
right
人
here
気
it
子
has to
供
be
に。
Wise's hero then.
I want to go for
Eason Shin.
maybe, yeah, Yusen Shin still available.
多分日本は
This shit would be good because they
FPS
need
と
some
かの
vision.
方が
Exactly. I feel like Eason
やっ
Shin
てる
is going to
人
be a very,
多
very
いや
viable
ろうし
option right now for the side of Blacklist International. But if
覚え
they
るこ
don't
ともやっ
go
ぱ多い
Eason
のが
Shin,
ね
they can maybe go for
Maybe Nathan.
Yep. The I wanted to say the Paquito, but after seeing the Barats,
Yeah.
I felt like I'm gonna stay away from the Paquito, but
日
still,
本
Blacklist going
今は
in,
日
Edward
本
Balboa.
うん今は
Wait,
向いて
there's
ないや
no
ろ
way
う
this
な
goes to the
あん
jungle,
まり
right?
There's no way. No. So
ド
we're
タ
saving
とか
Wise.
も
Yeah.
ずっと人口そんな増えてなかったし
We
日本
always
の
have to
プ
think
レイヤ
about
ー
this way. It's a championship. Maybe Wise just, you know,
ロール
in a
多分
time
ロールと
chamber.
かは
Time chamber, maybe.
ロールとかは配信者がやってたか
But now
ら
in Philippines,
大手配信
they
者
are gonna gun for
ニコ生
Kairu
と
as well
か
as the
全盛期の
Mark
時とかに
Do they want to go Nathan? Do you want to go back to the Nathan?
I feel like they can go for Nathan, but no, they're gonna pick up the Natalia.
大手の人が
And
ロール
the
とかをやって
Eason
た
Shin
か
first
ら
time in the 3 games that has been left opened
だ
up
から
again.
ロールの人口は
But
多いん
they're
だろう
going
け
up
ど日
against the
本
UBE.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
not so honest
Exactly.
apparently because
ドタとかモバレー
is
は
it really gonna be hatred on this Natalia
大手の
and
人が
not
多分やっ
Wileski?
Oh,
て
you're
なかった
right.
から
actually.
So there's a few questions left, even if Onyx PH already closed up their
っ
draft.
てのは気がするななんか見て
They
て
also have one more question to answer.
ロールはマジでやってる
Has
人
suddenly Wise picked
多かっ
up
た気がす
a
る
world championship winning Paquito, or
It's gonna be one of the
モバっ
craziest
て何って
surges
なり
if
ま
he
すもん
actually
ね
had.
I don't
俺の
know
周り
that
は
he
や
can,
ってる
honestly, given his
人
mechanics,
日本だ
but
ったら
the usage taken away, they have
ど
to
うだ
have
ろ
some
う
answers.
なんかモバレー
So looking back, they have still Bane.
をやってた友達はいましたねモバレーを進め
Side
た
of,
Yes.
モバレーを始めたのも
There you go. Natan, I like it.
友達に誘われ
it's really good.
からだし
The only
なんか
problem
ちょうど
here
パ
is
ソ
that
コンが
Blacklist
壊れて
International will
うわ
have
ド
a
タでき
problem
ねえ
with
と
this
思って
Natalia
た
as
か
well as the
ら
Farsa in the early stages.
その時にちょうど勧められたモバレーを
This double marksman setup
で
against
他に
Blacklist
も
International
なんか俺がモバレーやってるの
is
見て
very
始めた人が
For
56人いたけど
For them
みんなやめちゃいました
to still have a shot at the championship, they need to win the early game
数日間やっ
badly
て
against this team, and that's the only
やめ
option.
ました
Match point for Blacklist International. They are gonna rely with what works. The double marksman setup, the scaling setup.
ナタリアいま
Eventually,
し
they
た
are
ね
gonna
あんまり
outfarm
ちょっとドラ
the side of
ドラフト見て
Onyx
なかったけど
PH. And Onyx PH
喋りっぱ
needs
なし
to
で
stop that so badly.
If anything, we've seen Onyx PH come back from worse. They have played out of their minds and bought a sweep.
ゴールドファーサー
against
の
some
ミ
of
ド
the
ナタ
best in the game.
ミドナタロー
Right
ム
now,
ラフ
it
ァ
all comes down to this: the road to recovery, or are we going to be crowning another Filipino world champion after this game? Let's go into game number 4, Blacklist International versus Onyx PH. For all of the accolades that they've won,
いやもう俺は
Blacklist have yet to win
願うで
on the international stage. This might be it.
This might be it there. This is the
ガチで
closest
頼む
they've been, man. Match point in this moment right now as
うわ
Borowski will be the one
ジャングル
losing
ネ
to
ット
Natalia.
Goodness, I just want to point this out. Lane configuration solution again from Blacklist
い
International.
やこれリュウちゃんと見てん
They
の
are gonna put
偉いな
Beatrix against a melee hero in the XP lane, and then have Edward muscle it out against Marky in that gold lane. This prevents
いいよ
the Beatrix versus Farsa
い
matchup
けなんだ
that is heavily
あ
Farsa
あ
sided.
まマジかよ
Adjustment coming out from Blacklist International.
Absolutely, but now it's going to be the question whether or not Borowski will be able to get inside of the enemy
うわ
jungle.
リュウ寄っ
Look at
て
him.
きちゃった
Haji just
よ
does so well opening up the map, and Wise, this is something that you need. Oh, wait a minute,
どうです
Venus.
か
Looking
お
low, that's
Oh, shit.
Wojcicki jumping in, taking a few turret hits. Venus survives with a sliver of health. Oh, flicker in. Oh, gonna use a concussive blast, draws first blood onto the Natalia. Haji scores it.
This is the thing. You know, that's what I wanted to point out here. Will this Natalia have a good impact in the game, right? Because sure, so far we have seen Natalia still sitting at a 100% win rate back in the upper brackets, but going up against Blacklist International, a team who really likes to stick together, this Natalia will have a very, mediocre effect, I feel like.
And already Wise is rotating into a Marky's lane. Haji holding it strong in mid with Oh My Venus. That's a good question to ask because when you're back here, you really need to play something that's out of your pocket, that's very uncanny. Try to shock your opponent. And speaking of shocking, I don't know if hatred on Rafaela is something that I like.
Yeah, and the thing is, one thing I do want to add to it is that they're not going to have mid pressure anytime in this match. It's going to be really hard, but look, another fight.
Oh, Holy Baptism catches Oh My Venus. The answer, Circling Eagle. Oheb going to go ahead and blast Hatred as he's knocked up by Haji. That's a free kill for Blacklist International as they open up this turtle. Scored by Oheb. That's going to be Detna's welcome onto Haji. Delarski going to retreat. Oheb spots one. Baloyski, very difficult for this Natalia to penetrate.
This is not good. Wolf.
Definitely not good. The lanes are not looking good for Onyx PH. And the fact that they have lost that first turtle fight, I mean, that's not good at all. And now they have had a move on the ball. Lane adjustment coming up from Blacklist International. Putting for a winning matchup, this is just way too good of an adjustment from Blacklist International.
Yep.
Oh my god, this is honestly just so frustrating to watch. Boloyski going
a lot of damage placed onto the Cho, but here comes Venus backing them up. 3v2 circle. Drawing Venus underneath the turret. Holy Baptism places down the queen, but not enough to finish. Edward gonna punch Hatred down a third of his health. That's gonna be the Matilda surviving. Let's look at the items.
Okay, first of all, how does Venus just keep on going?
Oh, gonna be fine. Wings out.
Interestingly, Baloyski. Look at this. Eventually, Blacklist International will just naturally get ahead of the gold. And this is a weird decision.
It's terrifying. It's a terrifying interaction of two things that shouldn't be on the same map.
Okay, not...
I have no idea what's going on here. Blacklist, they've taken control out of nowhere.
2K ahead, 4 minutes. Wolf is still trying to figure out what exactly is happening. This is shades of Onyx PH from Season 4 in the MPL Philippines, but it's not quite working out. Double roam. Look at this. Boloysi gonna jump down onto Oheb. He's gonna roll out. Marky.
ウォリアー書かれてんのめっちゃウォリアーっていうかナタリアちょっと序盤痛そう
They might have really overthought this game and
なんかそんな痛くなさそうみんな
they're just not gonna keep up when it comes to the economy. I mean, obviously you're gonna be funneling all of your gold into your cores, but your mid lane as well as your roam will really be lacking when it comes to the farm. Baloyski needs to get kills, and so far in the first 5 minutes of the game, he's not getting a kill as the Natalia. And we were talking about how important it is to
蹴られるかでも洗礼があるから蹴り落ち蹴り落ちこのマッチ強いなこのマッチ
Venus gonna be in the range of this feathered airstrike. It's gonna go over to Wise. B finally taken down by Marky. Oheb gonna clear this way. He has a nice catch. It's gonna be a 3-on-1 collapse. Trying to get out of here. Haji knocks up one. Hatred in the air. Holy Healing gets out of here. Detna's welcome. Oh, Hatred gets taken down. It's a double kill for Oheb as Baloyski walks into the line of fire. That's gonna be a knock up on Haji. The dragon into Marky.
うまいその蹴りマジか
Gets the kill. They're not done. They're gonna wail away at this turret. Delarski walks away.
Haji, what was that? He went in with.
Haji, うますぎだろこれ
I'm so confused as to what's happening in this game. It's a complete shutout.
This is a lot of fundamental mistakes coming up from Onyx PH.
They're
just keeping up together. Onyx PH, you saw that they used
ガチでバキコンうまいんやけど
canceled it immediately. Well, it was definitely outplay of Blacks International, but the positioning from Onyx PH, they're not getting it. But let's see, they still have ways to fight this in the early stages.
Yeah, Baloyski jumps on Oh My Venus, not shy to take this fight. The silence in that smoke. Venus already goes.
やばい6分でタワー2本折れとるうわーやばい6分で3本全部折れたファースト
Blacklist International, their lineup has so much CC.
マジか
Onyx PH, they're just trying to burst someone down.
Nope. And for the longest time, Onyx PH are trying to control the mid. I mean, that's their priority.
やばいな
They have lost it already.
全く痛くなさ
This is
そ
again a scaling lineup with a 5k gold lead, almost 5k gold lead. I mean,
Yep. Not even 10 minutes in. Certainly, not the Maloyski. He was way too deep. No one to help him there. Can't help but just
やばい
crumple.
Again, like I mentioned, man, you know, the Natalia has been a great pick against RRQ, against BTK. Why? Because BTK and RRQ, they like to brawl it out, and they actually like to split up the map a lot as well. But you're going up against the ultimate bonding experience. Blacklist International, they stick to each other. They play for each other, and I feel like the Natalia is just it's not going to work here in this case, and I was right. 5,000 gold lead, the Natalia 0-3.
だってこれ
0 KP right now.
オニックフィリピ
One
ン
kill on the map. It was off of
返せるの
very
か
forward Venus, which is, by the way, rocking the mystery shop. So even more, this gold lead's gonna matter. Oheb now picking up the Demon Hunter sword. Even Dalarcy's gonna have to
レ
do
ート強い
twice.
キャラいないん
oh my
よ
goodness. And
The front lines
Ah,
don't even,
Sakurai.
they can't even take that much
Yep.
damage at this point.
we gotta have to give it to Blacklist International, though. They have been playing so well. I love the fact
No,
that
Haas
they
naman,
started with
sinukaya mo,
a good
tinasas
laning
mo yan
adjustment, and then
sila.
eventually they used
Ah, well,
twice
snowball
earlier on
rin
than what you
nariso.
would expect from a Nathan. Maybe it's just
Sugoi.
integrated
Yeah,
into
no, bada, wala,
Wise,
shinjire.
how he's able to farm
Hello.
fluently, then eventually go for the kills.
Oh, that as
Oh,
well.
wait.
He's gonna go into the belly. This might actually be a punish. Marky
Nice.
fires off the feather
First on the
strike.
kill,
It's gonna
shit.
be a free kill, but might actually be dangerous. Does not force the runner.
At this point, Oheb is actually so strong with Demon Hunter sword.
いや
and
マジか
Hero
普通にセカンドだから
attacking so many times at 6 in succession.
おい
It just
8分で
means
投
that
げ
this Demon
8分で
Hunter
起きていい
sword
状
is
況じゃないっ
gonna make it so
てや
difficult
ば
for
い
this
セカンドも折れてるやん
back
上
Also, the blade of despair. Oheb is
Right.
swimming and he's eating good. And right now, Oheb caught out.
こんな頑張りだ
He
よね
finally gets one.
え
And there,
Oh.
the feather strike gets another double
あ
kill
なた
for
の
this
キルか
Natalia. Onyx
一瞬にキルが入れば
Finally on the board. That was great by Onyx.
いやでも
Those
な
in the blacklist are
ニュートがいないだ
overextending without
ニュート
the
が
help of that of Haji. They instantly capitalize on that fact and punish Blacklist.
頼む
to go for Onyx
積
PH,
極
but that is amazing fight. Eduardo trying to make a play, and now find it. The next problems that
4000ゴールド差か
against Onyx PH is this Nathan. So far, he is
きついですね
1-0
この
with
金
two.
さ
His third item is gonna hit very hard.
これしかもレート構成じゃないからナタで最初竜に見られてた時点でちょっとしんどかったしニュートが赤バフ借り始めた時もうわいたニュートが赤バフ借り始めた時もさ
Catch onto Oheb.
ニュートのニスキで守られてたから
Via Oh My Venus
結構あれでもうナタの
They're still putting
ナタ
pressure
腐
on
っ
the
た気が
map.
す
There's a
る
little bit of breathing room that Kyrie bought up there. First tier turret.
ただ
down, up top. Oh, but off camera.
Ah,
He just
maジか
missed it. Wise blasting Marky. It's not gonna be a good look for this far
まだ
side
やばい
aggressive entry.
いやなったか
Blaze, and
な
now
ったな
Poloyski, he's running for his life. Can he go for the greed ghost step one more time?
イスンがまだ
Jason taking down the tier 2
イ
down
スン
bottom.
がまだワンチャンいやもう変に相手が相手がミスんない限り相手がミスんない限りもうこのままスノーボールだしな
It's just still controlled completely by Blacklist. They've only dropped one turret.
Yep. Brute Force Breastplate picked up by Oheb. Make sure that he's not gonna be one shot by a lone Natalia. If it will be Natalia plus Farsa, maybe they'll get the kill. But again, might not be enough.
いいよ
What's Edward doing?
あ
Diving in the three, still
ーイスがあと一
that
発だけ出
flicker.
てれば
Interesting maneuver there. Both teams kind of just like, let him go.
Yep, I think that Edward wants to kind of stop this push in the bottom lane. Was actually successful in doing so. Now, Athena Shield coming over to Blacklist International. More problems for Onyx PH. Love the fact that Wise also picked that up. Make sure that he will not be one shot again with this combo.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, he overstays. Maybe in the late game where the Dire Hit is maximum when it comes to stacks, it could be good.
やばい挟まれた挟まれた
But
挟まれ
instead
た
he bursts down Marky.
やばい
Still alive. Killing spree. Popping on that Nathan, keeping him alive. And the
竜ウ
pincer
ルトとフラッシュ
maneuver
あるまだ
neutralized there. Instead,
やばい
a free
ファー
walk
サ
for
死んだ状態で
Natalia.
ロード入ってくるこれやばい守れん
Farsa for the defense.
Suffocation, no high ground.
Well, they already tried with the mount
やばい竜が蹴る
from the north. Waloyski, they know. Exclamation
あ
point in
竜蹴り落ちもうバラッツウルト落ちた
blasting away at the remaining members.
ナタが何もできん。
Top lane inhibitor gonna go as well. Lord successfully taken down, but look at Wise putting a few beats onto Dolarski. Dolarski jumping onto this 5-man. There's the knockup. There's a takedown. Edward gets a stack on his Festival of Blood, and Marky uses the feathered airstrike just to clear this wave.
They're not even stopping at this point. They're just gonna keep on going here. Bottom side turret is gonna be next. Edward jumps in.
And he's gonna pay the price.
ナイスナイス。あーラファのキルもう一戦に全部キル入れよ。マジかよ。ミュートがもうしないよ。
At this point, it's really just up to Blacklist International whether or not they're going to be losing those sieges. Because if you look at their composition, this Beatrix is going to be a big problem for Onyx PH to defend against. The solution that they have is this gold lane Farsa, already up with the Winter Truncheon, still way below his gold lane counterpart, which is Oheb with 9,500 gold. He needs his next item to get the crystal on top of the Winter Truncheon so that he still be posting a kill threat. However, at this point, they need to focus on minions.
アルバート結構 RRK もアルバートゲーだったし BTK もモバゼンゲーだったからブラックリスト全員うますぎるから
I am lost for words right now. 7,000
今のここって
gold lead right now as Blacklist completely controlled.
確かに相性最悪ですね
Pushing in these minions, they're just saving it. Haji going in to away the dragon.
Holy baptism set in by Hatred for the counter initiate. This is 4 members. There's the retribution slowing down Hatred. They're gonna blast this dino.
ニワトリ出てきましたね
Ice Age, and that's Edward getting out of dodge. Interestingly, how long Dilarski survived, and only then.
Nice.
Kyrie gets one on at the
まだ諦めるなカイリーカイリー
3v1. Mouse shot into the face. Circling Eagle taking him down. Oh, and blasting into oblivion. As
いや
Dilarski
ナイス
is
いけあ
going
死だ
the same.
あ
But Nathan's still alive. Wise off of that. Oh, and dashing forward. Hatred the only one left. We're about to crown another world champion. Ladies and gentlemen.
まだ終わらん
International.
まだ終わらんまだ終わらんやめてやめて
Going to be a 4-0 sweep.
A complete shutout for Blacklist International as they shut down the dreams of Onyx Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, your M3 World Champions, Blacklist International.
No more international curse for Blacklist International as they have overcome Onyx PH in this grand finals. In the first time that Oh My Venus and Wise went to the world stage, they weren't able to make it to the playoffs. But this time they're gonna take it all the way. The champions, the world champions, Blacklist International.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go on over to the main stage. Our lovely hosts with our world champions.
Wow! Thank you very much, Leo, Wolf, Marco.
Oh
amazing stuff. Mara, myself, Joaquin Gomez, congratulations to Blacklist. But also, where are our friends over at Onyx PH? Guys, big round of applause for them as well.
Big round of applause for Onyx Philippines. You have done a remarkable job to get this far.
Wow, loads of camaraderie coming here from fellow Filipino countrymen.
いやーブラックリストが強
It's
すぎる
nice to see. Whatever you're watching right now, if you're in the Philippines, drink it in. This is your region, being the #1 in the world when it comes to Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
They have come a long way in the battlefield. They are rivals, but in here they are true friends. Representing Philippines, Onyx Philippines and Blacklist International. There they are, showing love for each other, showing appreciation because they understand what it takes
もう見事としか言えんこれは
to bring each other
4-0 はすごい決勝で相性悪くてもさすがにワンゲームくらいはねなんかストレート負けはないやろうなと思ったけど
So well, I don't think officially Or rather, personally speaking, I don't think there are anyone who are losers today. It's a win for the Philippines. It's a win for both Onyx PH as well as Blacklist International. But officially, there needs to be one title of world champion. That one going to Blacklist. And right now, for Onyx PH, thank you very much, Onyx.
Thank you, Onyx Philippines.
Onyx PH, may we now invite you off stage. We'll catch up with you backstage. I believe plenty of media interviews await you. But Mara, shall we make our way next to what it was all about for the past few weeks here in Singapore? 91 plus 4 matches in total. That means 95.
Congratulations to our champions, Blacklist International!
Now, to officiate the award ceremony, may I please invite up on stage Managing Director of Moonton Esports, Mr. Lucas Mao. Come on up here, sir. We got new world champions to crown.
Coach Bonchan, Venus, Wise, Edward, Oheb, Haji,
now,
Star, Uncle Eson.
Hang on, not yet, not yet. Now, for Blacklist International, I will read your name in order. Please proceed to collect your medals, all right? Now, ladies and gentlemen here in the crowd, at home, if you're watching this, keep the convo going in your comment section. Now, here we go, of course. Oh, my, Venus, go get your medal. Up next, Wise. Go get your medal, buddy.
Oheb. Edward.
Up next, Haji.
Dexter.
Come on up here, Dexter.
Come on up, Dexter. He stayed up day and night to strategize. Dexter, you deserve this medal. And Uncle Eson! Last but not the least, the leader, the brains behind the team, Coach Bonchan!
Thank you very much, Mr. Lucas Mao. We'll see you soon. Amazing stuff. Please safely make your way off stage as well. Now, Blacklist International, one more award before you get your hands on your trophy. How about MVP? $10,000 USD.
And the playoffs MVP will go to
the Filipino sniper, Oheb!
MVP か。いやー、うまいな。
$10,000 USD in your bank account. All right.
絶対ビアトリックスやん。M3 スキー。M3 スキービアトリックスじゃないこれもう。ガチでうまかったよな、スナイパー。
Blacklist 1, 2, 3 champions of the world.
Our MLBB M3 World Champions. Blacklist International.
鳥肌立つわこれ。オーマイビーナスとかめっちゃ嬉しそう。
the title of world champions still going back to the Philippines. It's gonna be a party tonight, and I cannot wait to see what goes on in the flight home tomorrow, Mara. Beautiful stuff.
To everybody watching online, you can now use the hashtag protect the crown, break the code, and it's a perfect time to write Pilipinas Love Malakas!
There we go. Now, Mara, I believe we have time to actually speak to a few of the players right now. So we're going to approach anyone you want to point out for us, Mara.
White, you're holding the M3 trophy. Anong pakiramdam? What does it feel right now for you?
Sa ngayon, di pa nagsisingkin eh. Pero pag uwi siguro ng Pinas kasi magpapasko din. Kaya sobrang saya.
It hasn't sunk in right now. Maybe when we got back to the Philippines, when we celebrate Christmas, and they're really happy right now. Venus, V, you were here
これもうクリスマスプレゼントやん。
Now you get to take home the
こんな
trophy.
さ、12月
Last time we interviewed
クリスマ
last
ス
night,
ま
you were
で
very emotional. How's
もう
your
1週
heart
間
right
え
now?
クリスマスまで1週間切ってんの
I'm just super happy. I'm super
えあと6日やんあれなんならもう今日1日終わるからあと5日
Coach Bonchan.
あと5
I
日
have
で
to
クリ
talk
ス
to
マ
Coach
スだ
Bonchan. Coach, you've proven that you are the best coach
早い
in the
な
world.
前まで3週間とか4週間だったのに
What is going through your mind right now?
Yeah, we really want to celebrate, especially these holidays, but
今フィリピンが最強ですねもう2回も優勝したらもう違うとはもう言えんよな
will be donated to them. It's from a Tier 1 and Blacklist International. We want to celebrate our holidays, giving a smile to the face of our country parliaments.
Mara,
Coach Mon.
I was actually right next to Ohab. Ohab, come on forward, come on forward.
The sniper! Ohab! Pakita mo sa kanila. Show them how the sniper goes.
Ohab, I have a question for you. I mean, of course, world champions. What skin do you want to have for MLBB Hero?
I want to choose Estes because it's been the trademark of Blacklist International since season 7.
ブラックリスト BTK が一番やりづらかったんじゃないですか多分じゃないと最初も負けんしなプレイオフの時ワンゲームも取ってたから最後に当たった時も一番ワンチャンあったんじゃないかな BTK が
I'm so happy kasi galing kaming lower bracket, bumagsak agad kami. Tas ayun. Umano kami sa champion kami.
He's shaking right now. He's saying he's so happy because they came from the lower bracket and now they are
ちょっとモバゼンとか調子悪そうだったから
Ladies and
うまくいってなか
gentlemen,
ったから
wherever you
BTK
are
が
around the world, if you've been following us since day one of all the M3 action, we say a big thank you. We've now come to the close of the entire tournament. Who do we thank, Mara, before we go?
M3 is powered by Moontime, supported by the Singapore Tourism Board and presented
ブレンの
by
次はブラックリストか
Thank you so much. We say goodbye from Singapore. See you for M4. We're done. Bye-bye.
お前ヴィーナスかわいいね
Blacklist International, your world champions.
I'm burning up now, taking higher levels. I'm in a bad spot, trouble to my knees.
うわーマジかゴールドレーンめっちゃ重要ですよねなんか別にゴールドレーンが重要じゃなくても多分 RRQ とかはアルバートで結構ご了承してたからよかったけど
I love the way it feels. It's the adrenaline, we're going all the way. Cause we never ever going down. You got me walking through the fire. We don't catch a sniper, we run.
やばいな今のゴールドレーンクソ大事ゴールドレーンうまいと全然試合が変わるわ戦列がマネージャーか通訳の人かな
chasing trophies got me ready, don't you worry. I feel the power, I'm the champion. You got me running for the glory. Good to let this go. Burning up now, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm going faster, wanna break away. I love the way it feels.
オーマイビナスずっと落ち着いとるよな。
Cause we never ever going down. You got me walking through the
うわ悲しい。ちょっとお肉フィリピン見ると泣きそうになるわ。決勝まで来れたのに。この音楽めっちゃ良くない？結構好きなんやけど。全然飽きん、聴いてても何回も。基本的にあんまり飽きるんやけど。M1 と M2 もあんまり515の曲とかも全く聴いてなかったけど、この曲は結構中毒になったのかも。かっこいいよね。いやー、うますぎたな。
Nothing's gonna stop me. I'm going faster, wanna break away. I love the way it feels. It's the adrenaline, we're going all the way. Cause we never ever going down. You got me walking through the fire. We don't catch a slide when we were young. Never run from the fight, yeah, we run to the top. Never run from the fight.
じゃあ俺も配信終わります。皆さんありがとうございました。何時間で終わったんだこれ。試合3時間で終わっちゃった。BO73 時間で終わるって早っ。お疲れ様でした。ありがとうございます。来てくださって。多分配信の頻度増えるのはM3 の試合が終わってからはちょっと頻度増えると思うのでまあ一応たまにやります。配信は多分ネガティブではすると思うけど YouTube は分からん。じゃあまたお願いします。お疲れ様でした。